Hello and welcome to the Movie Podcast. My name is Shahbaz, and of course, I am joined. First of all, I'm joined by two men who I haven't seen in a very long time on this table.
We saw each other like every day last week.
But were we around this table? Though?
That's you.
Well, you
missed.
didn't take out the table.
Okay, that's my fault.
But I also did say
We did eat around a table.
When do we eat? No, when do we eat around a table? We usually eat standing up.
No, we don't.
We have a table.
Do we eat upside down as well too, like bats?
We do eat upside down.
I'm just, man.
What?
We have tables in our life.
All right. This is the first time we've been together around this table right now.
This
in
table
this
that says
studio.
the movie podcast on it in a bunch of different logo variations.
Yeah, the one that has the little weird drawings that Anthony's been doing in the corner over there.
You're drawing on my
like
table?
Just
looks like a penis,
hangmen.
not sure.
Men being hanged.
Men, what?
And it just says Shay
Why?
and Daniel.
I thought you'd be like Hangman, Hangman from Top Gun Maverick,
Oh, no.
Glenn
Well,
Powell. No.
Yeah,
No. Well, you know what, guys? We've already started off on a weird note so far, but let me introduce you two guys right now. And these two guys right here, these two men whose names I'm avoiding to say, Daniel.
Hello there.
Awesome. That's great. That's pretty good. Hello there. And Anthony. Anthony, how you doing?
Man.
What are you, like a character from a video game? Like an NPC? Anthony,
well.
you had some news to tell us. You were so excited.
News.
You were so excited to share.
It's
Please
just an
tell us.
anniversary thing,
What
It's
is
been,
it?
16 years.
How many years
since-
off the bottle?
I'm a big soccer
My
fan.
God.
You know that, right? Like football for our
Football.
European listeners and soccer for our North
Yeah.
American listeners.
Football for everyone else, and then soccer for
Pretty much, yes.
North.
Or rugby for the people that are not calling it that.
That's a different
It
sport.
was brought-
It's not the same sport.
It was brought to my attention. It's been 16 years since Italy won the World Cup in 2006.
Where were you when they won the World Cup?
I was at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Italian
the restaurant. No.
Oh,
No,
that's
I
your first
forgot
problem.
what restaurant it was. But
Dave and Buster's.
it's... I don't think it was Dave & Buster's. No. It was...
But we can't say it wasn't Dave and Buster's.
it was- there's a
Dave & Buster's.
possibility.
Okay, I can
we-
let you know that.
Okay, it
I
wasn't
know
that.
because there was no like loud noises and music, like video games.
Oh, you're one of those quiet restaurants, huh?
God.
But yeah,
Snob.
no, it was brought to my attention. It's been 16 years.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
That's wild, right? 2006 to now, 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wait, yeah.
it was almost like yesterday. But then I realized other World Cups have happened since.
It's funny you bring that up, though. Because I had a dream last night. It has nothing to do with Italy winning the World Cup.
Oh, okay, I'm telling you, man, I'm a sorcerer.
You are, but here's what's interesting, though. My dream last night was about me directing a Superman movie.
Oh, that's
And
not the same.
but
Yeah,
this
you lost me so
but
far.
here's the thing. It's important because the movie was in 2006, and it was like I was directing Superman Returns in that
sorry
time,
to hear that.
which also came out 16 years ago, almost.
Did
to
it
this
have
week.
Zizou being headbutting Materazzi?
Yeah, exactly. They were all in that. You know,
Yeah.
Totti was there. All of them were there in the Superman movie. No, it's just weird that like
They were playing.
they had to fight
they're the
Superman.
There's a soccer scene or a football scene in the
Yeah,
film.
They
that
kick him to
Daniel was
death
making.
with balls.
Yeah, they try and kill Superman with a soccer ball, and then
A
he just
kryptonite soccer ball.
Yeah. No, but it's just weird that literally last night I had a dream that I was directing a Superman movie, and it was in 2006 for some reason. I don't know why. Because I think I was thinking a lot of Superman this week, and Comic-Con's coming up, so we'll talk all about it. But
But yeah, to our
Yeah.
Italian listeners,
We're still all six
we're-
of them.
No matter
Buonasera.
no matter if we're in a World Cup or not, which we're not in this year.
yeah,
We're still World Cup champions. We have
You
four
are.
of them, and it's been 1 year since we won the Euro Cup last year. We beat England.
oh yeah, I forgot that was
To our
that was
English
last year.
listeners, good luck this year in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Try to win one.
I thought you were going to say something
Yeah,
in another language. I'm like, but
No,
Andy,
there's this English guy. Fucking wanker. C-word. C.
There's one guy just yelling at you right now in his
Yeah.
car on the left side
He's
of the road.
Liverpool and fucking
right side of the road.
Manchester United
Yeah.
and all these. Sorry, I don't know.
Richmond, Roy Kent. That's a Ted Lasso.
Chelsea?
Chelsea.
The blue, the Italy's blue.
Yeah, isn't Chelsea blue too?
Chelsea's blue as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know the places in England.
I
I just know the Queen.
yeah. The Queen doesn't play soccer. Though.
I just know off of like people on Instagram who make it their
that's my
personality.
ignorance.
Yeah. But it's like all sports, right?
Yeah.
You know?
But
And
yeah,
I
good-
think-
good luck to everyone in the World Cup this year.
Good luck to
And
everybody.
Qatar, because, you know, that's what's so interesting. I mean, we should be watching the beautiful game being played right now. But because it's so hot in Qatar, they're like, no, let's push this event to November when it's only 60 degrees Celsius.
True. I've been to Qatar and it is quite hot.
Have you been to Qatar, really?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Interesting. Wow.
very,
What were
very,
you
very
doing?
hot. Well, when I used to live in the Middle East, going to Qatar was like going to Scarborough. Like it was not a big deal at all. Like it was just right above where I lived. So it was. You would drive there sometimes, or
How else would you get there if you didn't drive? You can't walk.
fly there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a different country.
Okay, but you made it seem like Scarborough. You're not going to fly to Scarborough.
But I'm saying
That's
like
why.
it's so common to go there,
Oh,
right? Like
got
it's
you,
so
got you,
cheap
got you.
to go
Okay.
there that you would just kind of do it. So yeah, it's very hot. I'm not surprised. Like I mean, again, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the whole development of this thing as well.
Oh yeah, because
Oh,
I mean
yeah.
it's FIFA. They're the
I'm
one
boycotting.
most-
This is not really a World Cup in my eyes.
This
Is it because Italy's not in it? Is that why?
That and also like
That mostly.
the tragedy of Qatar being the host city.
Yeah. It's again with all FIFA things. There's always a lot of corruption and back end
And it's
deals.
like the
and
biggest corrupted.
They're one of the most
entity.
corrupted.
They're pretty mafia like.
yeah, they're very
really.
corrupt. Very very.
I think the
corrupt.
mafia is different in the sense that
there's respect though.
You seem to know about the mafia, Anthony.
they wouldn't.
16 years ago,
They
when,
wouldn't put themselves in situations where people were used as slaves to build stadiums.
Right.
Like that's not a mafia thing.
no,
Right.
But what do I know?
What do you know?
I don't know
Nothing.
what you know.
Hey, your
don't know
gun just
anything.
fell out of your pocket. Is that normal?
Oh.
You want to put that gun back?
Oh,
you know-
we lost a lot of mobsters. This
We did,
we
and
did.
it's funny.
Oh.
Goodfellas was on TV last night as well too, and I was just like, "Damn,
They're
Ray
all
Liotta."
they're all passing away.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
their
I
time.
mean, they lived a great life though.
they
They
did.
lived
Yeah.
during that golden age of
Like
mobster
these are
movies.
these are people that
We should just talk about them now.
we
you know?
should just
Let's
talk about them now. Let's talk about. We have obviously Ray Liotta.
Ray
Ray Liotta. We
spoke about him before, but
Jimmy
James
Caan.
Caan,
James Caan,
Tony Sirico.
Circo. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Icons and
Icons.
and like when we think of mob films or mob TV shows, it's Godfather and Sopranos.
Yeah.
It's like those are the two.
Wow.
And it's like we lost Sonny and we lost Paulie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like they are such iconic characters in each of their respective shows and movies. So like to not have them,
It's sad.
it's sad. It's very sad. And obviously James Caan, I'm more familiar with just from all the different movies that he's
Yeah.
done and everything. But to lose him,
What's your other movie of James Caan that like comes to mind? Like mine is Eraser.
yeah,
Just because when I was like the only two films I really watched James Caan in was The Godfather and then Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But yeah, like it's when you come to a point in your life where the people that have made the movies that you love start passing, it's sad. And the shows that you love are sad because they're such iconic people in those roles. You don't ever want to see them pass away.
No, you don't.
But like they live long lives.
yeah,
They
and
live
they
long lives.
and they live and the thing I think with that we sometimes overlook with celebrities and actors and directors is that they live the longest lives because we get to keep enjoying their work after all these years, right? James Caan, obviously, growing up, I loved Elf, so him being in that was a big one. But the biggest one for me is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've spoken about it a bunch of Misery. Like him and Kathy Bates and Misery is
break your legs.
like, oh, but you dirty bird. Like
Remember that scene?
Have you seen Misery?
I haven't
Jay?
seen Mystery, but I know about that scene.
Yeah, that
Oh my
scene where
God,
when she
yeah.
puts like the plank of wood between his foot and just with the hammer.
Yeah.
It's great. It's one of the greatest horror films.
It's something that could happen to us. There could
We
be
could.
some really fans out there that
Crazy movie
wanna
podcast
capture
fans,
us
yeah.
and
They
take us.
they want to hear what we think about a movie before the embargo lifts.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's how they do
We're
it.
gonna break our ankles. Yeah.
Tell us what you really think about Thor: Love and Thunder. I already told you. I thought it was okay.
But also like Tony Sirico. Like,
Yeah.
Just
Oh my god.
Paulie is such an amazing. He's my favorite character on Sopranos.
100%, and especially like we were getting such great memes as well from him,
yeah.
like in the recent time, and I like, man, to see him go, and I just started watching Sopranos not long ago. I mean, I tried watching it back when it came out, but I was recently going through it,
Yeah.
and man, he's so damn good.
Yeah.
Like he fits the bill.
Yeah, it's like there's actors like that they just come in and they're such great character actors and they know exactly like this is who you are. Even when you're not in this movie, this is who you're always going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
He's just so good.
his wing, like his hair. I always call them wings.
Yeah.
Like they're just they're iconic. They'll always be in my memory, and they'll always be part of like the mobster.
There's iconic because like
look.
Fonz's hair. I feel
Right,
Yeah.
like it's gray with these black wings. And
Yeah.
you'll always black sideburns, which he will always be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
it's just so fun because like he cared about him with the tanning and everything. Like
yeah.
that. Like, it's just so iconic. We'll miss them.
Yeah.
We'll miss them for sure.
Man.
How you doing though, Shay? You doing okay?
You know, I'm doing great. So the other day I was at a drive-through, and I was getting my food, and the person in front of me at the drive-through, I could hear them belting out through their speaker like really aggressively and loudly at the drive-through attendee, and they were being like rude as hell, like just super rude. Anyways, they get their food and they kind of drive off, and like I was really kind to them, and like I could tell, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry that that guy just yelled at you, and they're like, oh, that's okay, it happens. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Now the guy got his food, and I'm wondering the whole time, did they do anything to his food? And have you guys ever had that experience where you got food and you ever wonder, like, did someone mess with my food?
Is that how you're doing, by the way? That's been on your mind?
Yeah,
That's
that was
been
on my mind
this whole time, eh?
For me personally, I'll go first, Daniel,
Yeah,
if you don't
please.
mind. I don't fuck with people who
Make your food.
make my
Never
food.
I'm the same way. That's
So
what I was going
if
to say.
something comes out bad, then that is something after.
Yeah.
But like not before either. But again, I'm not a rude person. I'm not gonna go up and yell at
Throw at
someone.
the plate at the
Never.
face.
No.
No, never fuck with anyone who does your food
No.
before or after. I think there's a way of doing and giving feedback to people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they take care of it. We've done it so many times, and we've gone to McDonald's and we're missing things
Yeah.
on our
Yeah,
burger.
and you feel bad because you kind of go to the counter like, hey, if you don't mind,
But I think that
I didn't
it's-
want...
There's a severed head in
Yeah.
my
I think
burger.
it's because
if it's not too much trouble.
we come from an experience where we had to deal with the general public.
Manners,
we,
yeah.
We know
Yeah.
what it feels like to be
We've worked customer
shitted on.
service.
Yeah.
by others. But
Yeah, and you know that the people who treat you nicely, you will go to the ends of the earth for.
Yeah.
The people who are assholes to you, you're like, I ain't giving you nothing
I was gonna hook you up, but now I'm
gonna
not
hook
gonna
you
even-
down
What?
to a train track.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's aggressive. But have you ever had an experience where you think like your food's a mess with?
Where I think my food's been messed with?
Yeah.
No, but I've gotten food before, and it's actually just happened recently. So when I went to watch the Leafs lose in Game 7 in May,
Oh.
I was getting I'm a big fan of street meat. Like going to school in Ryerson or Toronto Metropolitan University.
Yeah.
I'd always get a hot dog or a sausage or whatever. Like it's what I would get every day when I went to school. But
That's
the
a lot
one
every day?
not every day, but like
Oh, I was like, damn, dude.
it was there.
Take it easy.
But like you get it, like you would know the guy because it's the same guy there all the time,
Yeah,
right?
Paulie.
Polly's there. Polly
Yeah.
sausages,
Frankie Wieners.
For Frankie Wieners, that's
Yeah.
a great name for a place.
100%.
But the person who was close to the Scotiabank Arena, his hands were very dirty.
Oh.
And when he was breaking apart my bread,
Yeah.
and like he just
He spit
literally
on it to lube it
he
up a
literally
little bit.
just looked like he was like in a coal mine.
Oh.
And he gave me my food, and I literally just put the sausages in. My dad just looks at me because he's not wearing gloves or anything. And again, the street meat, I'm not expecting the most cleanest of food, but I'm also
Right.
not expecting like
Salmonella.
shit. And like same hand that he took the money, the cash.
He used a pigeon to, I believe, cut open the...
Yeah, I think a pigeon beak, a fresh pigeon.
There you go, sir. Yeah.
Cuts open the burger,
Crack
the bun,
Yeah.
puts the sausage in it,
Yeah.
and then he just gives it to me. And my dad and I just kind of looked at each other, and we walked away. We paid for it, and then we just
Toss it out.
put our food in the garbage nicely.
Oh,
afterwards.
nicely.
'Cause
Yeah, I'm
we're-
glad you didn't eat
Sir,
it.
Can you wash your hands first? No, we're
Yeah,
just
I'm
like
glad you didn't eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, like Anthony said, never mess with anyone who makes your food. Regardless, I think the highest of people who work in kitchens and chefs and restaurants. But I also know that I don't want to mess with anyone who makes my food.
Yeah.
yeah.
Same with my mom. When my mom would make food, I don't mess
Does
with her.
she mess
'Cause
with
she
your
could
food a lot?
poison me. She could poison me.
She could poison
and
you.
I'll never know.
You'll never know. She probably is poisoning you slowly every day. I've noticed
could
your
be.
hair's falling out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it,
Eyes are
is
bleeding
it noticeable?
Too. Your eyes are bleeding too. Is that normal?
Yeah.
I have a gross story.
Someone messing with your food?
So food related. I used to work at an establishment. You know the story.
I do
You
know the
Is this
story.
Pizza Hut?
It's a pizza establishment. I won't say where.
It's
'cause-
a pizza. It's a restaurant. It's under a cover.
It almost looks like a hat, but it's not.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I used to work at one of these back in high school. So I was a young kid, okay?
Yeah.
And I was working with my buddy, and it's funny because the person this story occurred to, they're listening to the show probably right now as well. I'm going like, oh, I know what the story is.
Yeah, just expose them right now.
Yeah. So
make sure you put first and last names. Too,
yes,
and
exactly,
times
and their
dates,
address. And so we're working, and I was making a pizza, and I put it in the oven till I go, and then I was working with my buddy, and he's like, "Hey, man, have you seen my Band-Aid?" And I was like,
Oh.
"What are you talking about? Why would I be looking for a Band-Aid?" And I look at his finger because he had a cut that day. He's like, "Yeah, I lost my Band-Aid." I'm like, "Dude, like maybe it fell on the ground somewhere." Like we didn't think anything of it. We were like, "Oh, it probably just fell off when he was washing his hands or whatever." Anyways, the next day I'm at school and, we're starting the day. It's high school. And my friend comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, I ordered pizza yesterday from your place. And there was a Band-Aid in it."
Oh my God, no, man.
And first of all, what are the odds?
What are the chances? Thank God.
What are the
man.
chances? But at the same time, she was like, "Yeah, we didn't like say anything, but like we just called and kind of like got like new ones." And I was like, Oh my God, that was you. Like, yeah, we were looking for the Band-Aid. I'm like, can you give it back? Like, I'm glad it ended up with you.
She has an open wound that she has to make pizza with.
It's disgusting, and I'm so sorry for the audience that listened to that. But
Yeah.
man, that's a funny story, though. Now you can laugh at it.
It's a great story, but also it's one of those things that you're just like, yikes. I've had hair in my food. You were with me when we had. I was
yes.
at we were in a spa in Toronto, and there was
the hair, I feel, is very common.
Yeah, but
Very
it was like
common.
a very long hair, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I cannot enjoy.
Very
this
thick
meal
hair,
now.
too.
Yeah, it's very thick
think-
hair. I think it was a full eyebrow. That fell off.
It comes down to, would you go back after like in having an experience like that? Would you go back to eating from that place, or
Right.
even going back to that brand, because it's such a memory that you'll always remember when
It
you
is.
take that bite. It's like, oh, there was hair, or there was a Band-Aid,
Yeah,
or
Or a
person's-
finger,
or like some sort of insect or whatever. It's just, once, for me personally, if I experience something like that, I'm like, you're
it's-
excommunicado.
it's one and done.
But what about
One and done.
what about if it's a big place? Because I feel like that's a commonality at like McDonald's. Like McDonald's, I've
never
hairs.
had
knock on
issues
wood.
at
I've
McDonald's.
never had like a seven
Unless I
finger
wasn't
No,
aware
never
of-
figured, but like hair
or hair or anything in my
No.
food. No,
But you said you
Never.
had hair in your food at that place.
but it wasn't McDonald's.
No, yeah.
And I've also never
so
gone
that-
back to that place
Yeah,
since.
yeah.
So
No, but
that-
I've had it at McDonald's a couple times, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Then
is what it is.
If I'm not aware of it and I have it,
Yeah.
then
We've probably eaten so much human hair.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're like
for
little
sure.
cats, just coughing up calf balls, hairballs.
Gross.
yeah.
What is the show about again?
Well, I'll get to that soon. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're having fun, man. Are you in a rush?
I'm not in a rush at all. I'm just making
I'm
a
just
joke.
trying to have a good time,
I'm making
man.
a little,
It's
I'm making
been
a little jokey
It's
joke.
been a while. We haven't hung out in a long time.
Dude, we hang out like every
I want to do a
day.
2-hour episode of nothing about movies, though.
Easy. How long can we go? We've gone 18 minutes right now. Let's keep
Yeah, that's
going.
pretty good. That's pretty
What
solid.
else?
It's been 18 minutes?
What else you got?
Yeah, let's move on, guys. Let's move on.
We'll move on.
Italy and the World Cup in 2020.
Anthony, you probably have like 4 minutes more about talking about Italy, don't you?
No, I don't.
It's not, he's Italy
The
now.
greatest country in the world.
What's your
Greatest food, greatest everything. No.
What's your favorite soccer ball?
What? No, well,
The round ones? Okay.
The
Give me
round
a
ones?
size
The square
5
ones.
Adidas Air, you know? It's
Adidas?
beautiful ball.
no, Nike.
Anyways, as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure to follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd, and don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Join our Discord. We're having some great conversations in Discord.
I
People
love
are-
Discord. I love it.
They're a great community. Yes, they're a great community. And you can write into the show at hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca. We also just hit a great milestone in our podcasting world. And, we're always just celebrating here. We were number 3 on a list. And I'm going to get Daniel to let us know what that list is all about. Daniel, please tell us.
So every year the FBI drops a new list.
Most wanted?
Oh, no.
That list we're higher on.
That's a most wanted list, yeah. So the good people at FeedSpot put out a list of the 35 best Canadian movies podcasts. A bit of a weird way of saying that, but I get it because of the categories. So the best Canadian movies podcast list is curated from thousands of podcasts on the web and ranked by traffic, social media followers, domain authority, and freshness. And I think we're pretty fresh because the movie podcast came in at number 3.
Wow.
3 is the magic number, and it's it was a great honor for us to see that. We're in some great companies where they're on that list as well too. Our good friends at Entitled are on the list as well, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see that. You know, we've been around for about 3.5 years now, and it's cool to be.
I don't count the first year.
You don't. Why don't you count the first year?
Because we weren't there. Like, you know, like we haven't established anything yet in that first year. It's the second year.
But it's also like, okay, so I'm 10, like as a baby, I don't count the first 3 years because I just sat there.
First year was like, we're doing this for
no,
friends.
Man, no, it wasn't.
And
the first year, Shay and I were like, this is a legit professional show. Anthony was just here for the hoo-hoos and ha-has.
Yeah, that was a very like telling moment. We're all sitting down talking about how much we love this show, and he's like, "Yeah, I thought this was just a hobby."
I never said a hobby. I thought
we were just doing this for ourselves.
Like,
wait, people listen to the show?
Wait, we have listeners?
No, but it was awesome to see. And again, this is not something that we applied for or were voted on. This is just something that was based on just numbers and figures and, you know, math and science probably. So it was science. There's some chemical formulas in here probably.
We're also on another list in that list under like actual just movie specific podcasts. We're number 43, and we're in like the ranks of like how did this get made and slash film and all those.
But what is this, like just worldwide?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah,
there you
number
go.
43. This is the 70 best movie podcast.
That's amazing.
So that's a pretty good number.
That's a really good number. That's a really good number. No, but yeah, no, it's this is fantastic for us, and we're just honored to be on the list. It's an honor to be here, and we want to keep doing this because we've had the last 2 months have been wilds, and it feels like, you know, we haven't had a numbered episode in a while, but that's also because we've been releasing an episode. It feels like almost every day.
Yeah.
And not just releasing an episode, it's either a review for a big movie, a big show, or a big special guest. And we had a lot of them. Just this week, we had Joseph Quinn join us on the show.
Jay Quinns. You may know him as Eddie Munson on the podcast. You could. Well, you could. Yeah, you do.
You could. Eddie Munson, Joseph Quinn of the Movie Podcast. Yeah. And it just...
You'll know him from Doja Cat's DMs, you know?
And no Stab's DMs. What a week to have him.
Yeah.
Because all that went down, and obviously because he is just... I think out of Stranger Things season 4, he was like the most loved character of it, and we were just lucky to have him. And then we also had Paul Walter Hauser join us to talk about
PWH.
Blackbird, and just such a funny guy. And we had a great conversation with him.
Yeah. And we talked about like watching the show and how we were going to save the finale, but the show is really good, so we watched it all.
Yeah, definitely watch Blackbird. We'll talk more about it later. We also have a lot of great episodes out. If you want to catch our reviews for Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is another movie that you should definitely go watch. You want to hear our interview with Alan Yang and Matt Hubbard of the creators of Loot, go check that out. Elvis. Guys, we had Hayden Christensen on the show. We had Aman Vellani on the show.
More than once, by the way. We had Hayden Christensen like twice.
Twice, yeah. We got to meet him in person at the red carpet. So we had Cooper Rafe on the show. We had Angus McLean and Michael Giacchino on the show. And I'm literally just talking about the last like month alone. Yeah. It's been a crazy time here on the Movie Podcast. And we have a lot more great episodes, reviews, interviews coming your way. So don't think we're done yet, because we're coming for that top spot on this list.
Yeah.
We're coming for
both lists.
In the world. All categories.
Oh, God, yeah.
All categories.
DIY, technology, everything.
Yeah. Did you say DIY? Was that your first choice?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. Is there a DIY category?
Oh, this is a DIY podcast. Yeah. Like, hey, here's how you make a wooden bench.
Yeah. It's just audio, though.
Yeah. You take this piece of wood right here. Oh, what piece of wood, sir? I can't see it.
You can't see it.
Follow me on YouTube.
Also, we just dropped our review of The Boys Season 3, where we talk about the finale and also, you know, our overall thoughts on the whole season, which great episode of television. Great season. Great discussion. So go check it all out. There's lots to listen to.
It's a lot.
There's a lot.
You're only talking about the last week or 2 weeks
literally
at most.
I literally went far as back as June 14th, which is literally like 26 days ago.
Yeah,
so
that's quick math as well.
Let me get into May now. No, just go. If you're listening to this episode right now, thank you. Go check out all the amazing episodes that we've already done, because they're there for you to listen to and enjoy.
Yeah. We were hearing that people wanted the main episodes back. You know, there was rumors in the Twitter sphere about that.
Really?
Yeah,
people were asking where's the main episode?
Yeah,
where's the podcast?
Where's the
table?
podcast?
You know, where's that podcast table?
Well, here we are,
and we're back. Episode 143.
Yeah, good number.
It's a strong number.
143.
143.
And our topic of the show this week is the best movies so far of 2022.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. I think it's safe to say, if you guys still remember, if it's cool with you guys, let's jump into the news.
I think this may be a hot take.
Oh, okay.
But of all the years in the existence of the motion picture, I think 2022 might be having the strongest 6 months ever.
It's having a really good 6 months.
I think this first 6 months of 2022 might be the best 6 months of movies to start a year that we've ever had.
I don't know. I can't
2019 was good.
comment on that.
2019 was great as well.
But I'm thinking the first 6 months, of 2019 versus the first 6 months of 2022.
Yeah, we had Endgame.
Yeah, but we also had the Batman and Top Gun and Everything Everywhere All at Once and Turning Red and Elvis.
I can't comment.
We had some great films.
I can't comment.
You can't comment?
I don't know what other years have other than last year. I just can't go back in time. And
Last year had no movies.
6 months ago.
Do you not remember a few years ago?
Well, it doesn't have to be a few years. We're talking about the history of motion pictures.
Yes, that's true. He was.
I was saying the first 6 months, January to July or January to June, is probably the strongest month of movies for that same time period in any other year.
I don't know. I gotta look that up. I gotta do my history.
I would love for you to look it up. Yeah, because I'm looking and I'm seeing other movies.
I feel like 95 to me is one of the greatest years of my lifetime, and I think that was a good year in films. And I feel like the first 6 months of 1995 was a good year for film. Well, but that's just me pulling.
We'll have Daniel look that up.
Pulling that
to see what
out
the
of
first
my
6.
butt.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that's aggressive.
You say you're pulling it out of your butt?
Yeah, because I just like 95.
You've never pulled something out of your butt before. This is the first.
No.
Why can't you think about it for so long though? You're like, hold on, have I ever
said that? I guess. Also 98.
lot of
98 was a good year too.
Also 2001.
Phantom Menace and The Matrix came out in the first 6 months.
No, Phantom Menace was 99.
98.
99.
Was it?
And also Matrix was 99.
Okay, 99. Sorry.
Yeah. This guy over here.
This guy doesn't know his years, huh? So are you sure it's 95 you meant? Or do you
No, 95 was a good year.
Yeah.
It's like wine.
Sure. Yeah, it's like wine. I get it. But let me jump into our first news. Well, Daniel, you're still looking up what movies came out in 95?
Yeah, I promise you, there's great movies in 95, but none of them came out.
What do you have? What can you give us that stands out to us?
First 6 months?
The first 6 months.
First 6 months of 95. Yeah, I got to work on this a little bit longer.
No, take your time. Let me know when you're all good. I'm going to jump into the first story that we have, though.
Please do, yeah.
Captain America 4, Cuatro, finds its director and filmmaker Julius Onah. This comes from Boris Kit. We're coming back hard with a Boris Kit story from the Hollywood Reporter as well. Captain America 4 has a director, Nigerian-American filmmaker Julius Onah, perhaps best known for helming the 2018 thriller The Cloverfield Paradox, will direct the 4th installment of the Captain America film franchise from Marvel Studios. Anthony Mackie is starring in the feature, reprising his longtime Marvel character of Sam Wilson, now thanks to the events of 2021's Marvel Disney Plus series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which saw Wilson, after much self-doubt, finally accept the shield and mantle of Captain America. It's not known what the path of the character will be next, but something thought-provoking is likely. Malcolm Spellman, the creator and head writer of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is penning the script with Dalen Musson, a staff writer on the show. No start date has been revealed yet. You're just looking that up, so I'm going to jump to Anthony. Anthony, what do you think about this story?
I'm glad that they found a director, which is just, again, spearheading the fact that there will be a Captain America film. I don't want to call it 4, because I don't think it's the 4th version of the Captain America
we know, Captain America,
right?
Yeah.
Like, for sure, you're right.
This is Captain America. This is a new story with a new Captain America, and I consider it like a volume. Yeah. As in comics, there's a volume 2 with Sam Wilson being the new Captain America. I don't also like calling movies numbers anymore. I think it's an archaic thinking. It also cheapens the film itself. I think titles are essential to these movies, as well as paying respect to the comic itself, because comic books themselves are labeled as stories and they have titles. And if it was Civil War or Secret War, whatever, there's a title that really encompasses that arc or that movie. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wish Marvel was really adamant on the whole Captain America #4 because people keep calling it that.
But
I know I'm
yeah.
I'm a little being a little narcissistic.
Bitch about
No, I don't think
sorry.
you are. No.
Sorry.
No, I think I didn't
Baby?
say anything. No, I didn't say
Say
anything.
babe?
I said bitch.
Oh, it's worse. Baby bitch. baby bitch.
But yeah,
I want my baby bitch.
it's not 4. Stop giving it a fucking number.
Yeah.
It's the Hollywood Reporter. It's Variety. It's all these places that they just give it 4, and then the world
Calls it 4,
Calls it 4, and even Thor 4. It sounds so stupid.
Thor 4 and 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But what's interesting with the Hollywood Reporter too had another issue is that the way they didn't like call Sam Wilson Captain America.
Yeah.
And that was like a really weird thing that they did.
A weird like mental gymnastics of maneuvering around.
For a long ass
that.
tweet they did. It's like, hold on a second. This whole thing's about him not reprising the role as Falcon. It's like, yeah, because he's Captain America now.
We've established that.
This has been established, and I love that Chris Evans responded saying Sam Wilson is Captain America.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But that's
hell yeah.
I think that's media just like trying to
incite engagement, and that's the problem with it, right? And when I see Captain America 4, I see that, and I think the same way as you, Anthony. I'm like, yeah, but it's not 4. We're calling it 4 because for like I just guess for clicks, and the easiest way of talking about this movie is like, yes, it's technically the 4th Captain America film, but it is not Captain America 4, and I really hope come Comic-Con or D23 we have a name for this movie, because I want to address this movie as a proper Sam Wilson story. I don't want this to be like you, Anthony. I don't want this to be like Captain America 4. It's not that.
Yeah, I feel like we were gonna get a name a lot sooner. Like it just feels like they're still kind of getting this off the ground. Right now. I'm like, oh, we're still not there yet. It's
call it
surprising.
Serpent Society.
Call it whatever you want.
The next story in the Captain America. I don't know. They're writers.
There's only
such a long name, man. The number 4 is one character.
We're gonna call this. In our title, we'll have Captain America 4. Sure.
No, but no. You know what? Specifically for this title, I'm gonna name this. Put it as director is, or I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
Julius Onah.
Julius Onah is named director for Anthony Mackie's Captain America movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like. There's respect that puts into it. Also,
100%.
When we were talking about 1995 movies, there's a lot of great movies from 95. I'm looking at the list of the top grossing films of that year. And I'm looking at the first movies that released actually in the first 6 months. You had Apollo 13 released at the very end of June. You had Batman Forever released in June.
Yep.
And you had Casper released in May.
These are the only movies that I remember, yeah.
So everything else, like Toy Story, Die Hard with a Vengeance, GoldenEye, Seven, Waterworld, Jumanji, they're all later in the year. Yeah. So I'm saying,
but like how many months later?
Like December, November.
6 months after.
But also we have to think of back in those times, and even up to a few years ago, when we thought of movies releasing in January and in February and in March. That's where you go to drop. That's where the movies go to die.
Yeah, it wasn't until recently.
Where it was recently. So back where it's like we have movies now releasing banger movies every month, where before it'd be like June, July, and then November and December.
Right.
Where now it's like all year long we could have banger movies.
Even May wasn't even a hot spot until recently too. Like May finally started to open up as.
I feel like when Spider-Man came out, like that was the big one that really opened things up.
Back in the 90s, it was May was whatever. It was June would hit, school was out. Movies are in.
Yeah.
No, but we did an episode on how Twister, remember we were talking about like how advertisement in films and all that, and how Twister became like huge because of during that time there was a lot of tornadoes, and they marketed Twister during I think April.
That was because it came out in the May 1996 though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really what's like Twister was the movie that started to get those months recognized.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
And then March was the big, like it's March to Marvel was always the start of the summer blockbusters.
Yeah,
March being Endgame.
Or April Endgame. Yeah, and Infinity War and Endgame moved up to April from the first week of May.
Right,
and then we started in March seeing Disney started releasing like their live action movies there. So we got. Like Cinderella, we got Beauty and the Beast, and we had I think Maleficent.
Pete's Dragon, I think.
Pete's Dragon, yeah. So we started getting those earlier in the year too. But yeah, now it's like
and then we're just getting Black Panther in February.
Yeah, we're just getting movies like just banger movies dropping out.
It made sense, but it worked for them too.
Yeah,
but we went a little off topic. with the Captain America. With
getting
back to Captain.
getting back to Captain America.
95. No.
Yeah. So I'm saying this movie's going to come out in the first 6 months of whatever year it comes out in.
Which, the Captain America?
Captain America.
what you were saying?
I wanted to try and bridge it back.
Oh,
that was it?
No.
I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah, I'm thinking it will come out whenever. But yeah, it's I'm excited as a director. It makes me a little worried that it's like oh, the Cloverfield Paradox, which is like not a strong movie at all.
But have you seen his other film?
But that's the thing. I haven't seen his other film, and he is an indie filmmaker, and I think Marvel has a really great track record of working with indie filmmakers.
Lucy.
So yeah, Lucy. So
and I heard, and that came out in 2019, and that got really good reviews.
Yeah,
Wait, Lucy, the one with
Naomi Watts, Octavia Spencer, Calvin Harris,
not
Jr.
Scarlett Johansson. That's the Luc Besson
Tim.
film.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's not by him.
No.
Yeah.
That's
also called Lucy, though, right?
That's also Lucy, Lucy though.
Yeah.
I think this one's Luce.
Luce, yes.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be. I'm happy that Malcolm Spellman's back, because I really liked what he did with Sam and Falcon the Winter Soldier series. Because when you look at that series, I think there were some issues that had, again, on the villain side with shorting that up. But what that series did amazingly was Bucky and Sam's relationship, and Sam struggling as a black man to take the shield.
Easily the strongest element of that show, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think that was something that we didn't think about, where when we saw Captain America, we saw Steve give Sam the shield at the end of Endgame, amazing moment. But I'm so glad they decided to be like, you know what? Let's actually think about what this means for Sam and being a black man taking this,
Right,
and living with that mantle, and seeing what happened with Isaiah Bradley and everything throughout that entire series. And it makes me want to go back and rewatch it, because like there's a lot of just great moments in that.
Do we see Bucky as like a main character in this as well?
I think we see Bucky in it. I don't think he's as like a main, maybe like a supporting character, maybe. But I think we've already seen Bucky and Sam together, so I think we will see other Avengers show up in this, though. For sure.
It works for them. I mean, Marvel right now knows. Miss Marvel?
Yeah, they've had a scene together at the
on the cruise ship. Yeah,
on the cruise ship. Yeah, but so that was also directed by Nia DaCosta, who was doing the Marvels. That they said that's technically a different multiverse. Well, I'm like, it makes sense.
What?
Because it makes sense.
The cruise multiverse.
The cruise. That's the theme park universe where they talk to the audience for some reason.
Yeah.
But again, that cruise video, it was so cool seeing that. Like, you're just seeing like Anthony Mackie and Aman Vellani interact, and like it's just cool. It's cool seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's very cool.
I just can't wait to see him like really embrace being Captain America, and I think he's going to kill it. I love Anthony Mackie.
How different do you think we see the suit? Because we saw the suit at the end of the the finale. How different does the suit look?
Like compared to when it will come out?
Yeah,
that's a good question, because we don't know when this is coming out.
Yeah.
It could be 2 or 3 years.
I know you're not, Anthony. You're not a big fan of the white.
No,
right?
I'm not.
Which is like right from the comics, which I think it looks cool, but I also think we'll see some maybe adjustments to it,
right?
That will make it a bit more maybe streamlined and unique looking.
I like darker costumes. Anything bright, it's just very comic-y.
It's hard to be stealth, I think, also when you're wearing a bright white suit.
It'd be cool though if he had like Steve's like Winter Soldier suit,
like a darker,
like the dark blue color scheme. Like it'd be cool if it could like
great suit,
like change or
camouflage kind of suit.
Some type of different technology for it. It'd be really cool.
Yeah,
I can't wait, because I love the way he looked, like with the wings and the shield and everything. So
he is a bird, and Captain America, and like
he's an eagle now.
The symbol of America is an eagle, right?
It's true.
So yeah, he's grown up from the Falcon to the Eagle.
The Eagle.
Yes.
Captain Eagle.
My name means Falcon.
It does?
Yeah. So technically, I think I'm Captain America?
Captain Falcon?
Falcon Punch!
I love that recurring joke throughout Falcon Winter Soldier. Oh, Captain Falcon. He's like, nah, is this Falcon or it's Captain America now?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm glad. Cool. Any other thoughts, guys?
No.
Absolutely not.
Wow, that was aggressive.
Yeah.
Next story. Stranger Things creators announce new production banner, Upside Down Pictures. They're really milking this whole
Hey, you think they created Stranger Things?
I don't know. Ryan O'Rourke from Collider. Hat off hot off.
Wait, what?
I'm like, what? Sorry,
Pardon me?
guys. Sorry, so sorry.
Pardon me.
Hot off of releasing the bombastic finale to the penultimate season of their hit show, Stranger Things. Matt and Ross Duffer, didn't know that was their first names, by the way. Just been calling them Duffer Brothers.
Just Duffer Brothers for life, yeah.
Yeah, unveiled their new production banner named after the terrifying mirror realm of the series. They created Upside Down Pictures to handle their growing list of new television and film projects at Netflix. The formation of the company is part of the duo's overall deal with the streamer. The general premise of Upside Down Pictures seems to be to capture much of the same heart and themes that make Stranger Things so beloved in more projects from the Duffers. They describe the company's purpose saying they aim to create the kind of stories that inspired the Duffers growing up. Stories that take place at the beautiful crossroads where the ordinary meets the extraordinary. Where big spectacle coexists with intimate character work, where heart wins over cynicism. Announced projects include a new live-action adaptation of Death Note.
Why?
Sure, why not? Let's do it again, Netflix. A series adaptation of Stephen King's The Talisman, sorry. I don't know why they would call it
The Tall Man.
The Talisman.
The Tall Man.
A stage play and live-action spin-off of Stranger Things, and a new series from creators Jeffrey Addis and Will Matthews in the works. Daniel, give us your thoughts on Going Upside Down.
Going upside down, the blood always goes right to my head.
Always to your head, and I think that's what these guys are doing.
And I think that's what they're doing. Listen, the Duffer Brothers are to Netflix what the
Spielberg was.
The Russo brothers are tomorrow.
what the Russo brothers were to when Endgame was coming out, and what the Game of Thrones writers and directors were to HBO at the time. They're keeping Netflix afloat right now in terms of original content. We haven't really heard anything negative about Netflix in the news as well too in the last month and a half since Stranger Things was coming out.
Good run for them.
So people love Stranger Things. It dominates the conversation, and it's no surprise that Netflix wants to keep these guys around, because why wouldn't they? They have a home for them. They let them do whatever they want. I think it's great that they have a production team now. It's weird that it's taken 4 seasons for them to create that production name, or because this deal, we've known about this deal for a while, right?
For a while.
So again, great for them. I want to see more projects created under this banner that have the same love and attention that Stranger Things does. Coming out of the gate and saying we're doing another Death Note. Very weird choice.
They tried one recently, right?
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
2017.
Yeah, not long ago at all.
Yeah.
And it was horrible.
Yeah, I'm not
It
in.
wasn't horrible,
But fans of
fans
Death Note
did not
hate
like
it.
But no, fans always kind of hate that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I truly, because I feel like Death Note and almost every single anime or manga always gets that. Hey, you're making a North American live action.
Yeah,
remake.
but they also do it. They hate it, but it wasn't well made.
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
sure.
all very whitewashed, and
Yeah.
it falls into those tropes, right? Where like
Yikes.
you're trying to make it for a North American audience doesn't mean making it just white people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a pretty big thing.
But Death Note being interesting because it was made recently.
Yeah.
And let's remake it again.
Again.
And I don't know if there's a huge fan base for Death Note. There probably is, but to the extremes where we're gonna remake it again.
Yeah, and that's what's so strange.
Unless they, like the Duffer Brothers,
They have
had
a take for it, right?
Their version of it.
Yeah, and that's what's
was
so
part of their-
strange. Stephen King doing the Talisman.
No,
100%.
I'm calling it Talisman now.
The Tall Man.
The Talisman.
Didn't we see Max or one of them reading the Talisman book
Yeah,
in
I think
this season?
I think so.
So that was like a little tease to it, but
Little Easter egg.
But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Stranger Things is essentially feels like it's right out of a Stephen King world, so it makes total sense with Hawkins and everything. So good for them. Get your bag, just make great shows, make great movies.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony?
Yeah, same. It's good that they are, going to not venture off too much out of the Netflix world and really focus on building content for that platform. I would love to see them do other things other than the supernatural or scary, that mashup of Stranger Things meets 80s meets action and all that.
Right.
Like,
I wonder
you see them
what
doing a modern day
a
thing?
modern day story, what their take on it would be. But yeah, it's really nice to see that they're invested in creating more content for us as viewers to be excited about. And I think for the Stranger Things community, because we know that season 5 will be the last for who knows, but for a while, there's going to be spin-offs. And I think a lot of people would love individual stories with these characters, whoever they might be.
Right. Yeah, I think the Death Note thing is probably the most interesting part because there is a huge, fan base for Death Note. They love Death Note, but that last one really left a sour taste, and it hasn't been that long yet. Like, you got to give it more time to breathe and people to forget about it before you go back and try again.
I wonder, like, if Death Note played a factor in just how they grew up.
Their names were written in the Death Note. That's why.
Was it?
No.
Oh, okay. But again, like, maybe it's just something that, how the Wachowskis love Ghost in the Shell, and they brought that. That was a big part of their life, building the Matrix. Maybe Death Note had some sort of impact, and they want to make their version of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I would love to see them do? And I'm going to say this for any director that comes up with something, give them a Superman movie. Give them a Superman movie, man. Please. I
don't know.
Man, Superman can die in the ground.
He has died in the ground, and he's come back.
Yeah, he comes back.
He's dead now. He's dead right now.
Yeah, Superman is a dead IP right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys.
No one's touching it.
My dream last night was like the greatest Superman movie I've ever seen.
Was it the greatest dream you ever had, though?
It was one of them. It was in 2006.
Top 3?
Though. It was top 10.
Wow.
I woke up, I was like, damn. Then I was sad. Because it was such a good dream. You know when you wake up from a dream that's so good, you wake up, you're sad because it's not real?
Yeah.
That was the dream.
It's every day for
Wow.
me.
Yeah. Oh.
There was so much
Anthony's like,
talk.
what is it like to dream?
You don't dream.
I do dream. I just don't remember the dream.
No, you told us many times in the show you don't dream. Now you're backpedaling.
No, I think I dream.
Commit to your
I think I dream, but I don't know what they're about.
Yeah.
I know there's something happened while I slept. There has
I'm
to
waking
be,
up
right?
with these bruises for some reason.
There has to be something that's happening.
I feel like you float when you sleep. Like you're like just
Probably, yeah,
levitating
like
off
friggin'
the...
Max. Yeah.
I think Anthony definitely floats when he sleeps.
Yeah,
100%.
He has the physique for it.
But getting back to Superman, there was so much story around Superman either last year or the year of COVID, 2020. With Superman being black and getting black directors and writers to really...
Which I think is still happening.
But is that still happening? And they were like, oh, there's going to be 2 Supermen. And then now Discovery has taken over, and it's like...
What is
basically
happening?
slashing anything that Warner Brothers had planned for the past so many months and years. We don't really know if that Superman is going to... that the black Superman is going to be a story. We don't know if there's, what Henry Cavill's doing. We don't know. And I think
we don't know
they
anything.
need to be transparent with a character that big, just for the, their fan base. Like, Superman's huge. We know more about Aquaman and the Flash than we do of this character who's the actual icon of their
Of all superheroes.
of superheroes and of DC.
But yeah, that's what I think about the Upside Down.
That's... I think you
Do
guys...
you like Upside Down though? Like, do you guys like the idea of their?
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Again, it makes sense, but it's also
Yeah.
just like it's
Let's run that into the ground.
let's do it.
Yeah.
We made this. But also like you look at other directors too, and they've done
Yeah, they always
very specific
they always pick like
ones,
their
right?
their successful trademark and kind of go with it. And again, nothing wrong with that. It's just okay, like it's cool,
No, but like there's unique ones like J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot was
Yeah,
unique.
very unique.
When they were around, Will Ferrell and
Yeah, Gary Sanchez Productions.
Gary Santos unique,
Yeah.
but this is not as unique as you expected it.
No, it's just like, oh yeah, that's on brand. It's very on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next story. Is it cool if I jump to the next story, guys?
I think it's great.
Yeah, you guys think so? Well,
No.
I will do it. This is from also a friend of the show. This story here. God of War Ragnarok finally has a release date. It's coming from Bradley Shankar of Mobile Syrup.
We love Bradley.
We love Bradley here. Yeah, Brad's a great guy. Make sure to follow him on Twitter as well. Got great tweets. God of War Ragnarok will officially launch on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on November 9th, 2022. The release date has confirmed. Release date was confirmed in a PlayStation blog post alongside a brief CG trailer for the upcoming action game. The highly anticipated sequel to 2018's God of War was originally unveiled in September 2020 for a 2021 launch, but was later delayed to 2022. Since then, there's been speculation about when the game will actually come out, with reports indicating that it would drop in November. Some impatient fans have also been harassing some Sony Santa Monica developers to learn the release date. Man, that's...
Fuck you if you do that.
Yeah,
First and foremost, I'm
that-
sorry. I had to jump in there and
That
say
is, it's disgusting. Like, go and fuck yourself is what I would say.
I the way you said that. Here's the thing, Shay. The way you said that, it sounded so professional.
I want it to be
Like,
a little professional. I don't want to
know.
jump to their level.
Yeah, like
of
ladies and
country.
gentlemen, I would just like for you to go fuck yourselves.
I
if
want
it's
them.
not
I
too much
really
trouble.
want them to. I want them to shove a PlayStation 5
Yeah.
with the console cover on
Okay, but hold on now. Where are you sticking it?
the ass.
Disc or digital edition?
You know my answer.
Disc?
Yeah.
Oh my
Disc
lord!
edition.
My
yeah,
God.
I want that. They think they're safe halfway
Yeah.
through, but then a little bump just kind of comes in.
Here's the thing, Bradley Shankar, if you're listening to this episode,
We're sorry.
We're so sorry. These are not your words. These are our words.
But now they will be your words.
Thank God. Here's the thing, though. I'm so happy that this game has a date. I'm so happy we get to play it this year. I think it's going to hit this date. Cannot wait to play this game. We just. Sorry.
Did you say it's going to hit the state?
It's going to hit this date.
Oh, hit this date.
Yeah, hit this date. We also just, we're talking about God of War last week because it was Video Games Day.
Yeah.
And God of War was our very first picture on that. And it was just, I can't wait. I just recently finished playing the one from 2018 again. I love it. And I just can't wait to get back into this world and kill some, Draugrs and,
Yeah.
some gods.
Anthony, you call yourself the God of War. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I wish the announcement was just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just anticlimactic in
Right.
the sense that we've been waiting. I didn't know much about the whole harassment of people sending dick pics to these developers and interesting.
It's a weird tactic. I'll be honest with you.
My dick.
Like, what a...
Here's my dick.
So stupid.
It's
Like,
small.
So dope and so stupid.
And I'm like, man, people are just
Weird.
they're just interesting. Like every year, the world gets more and more interesting.
I feel like you should have a license before you get on the internet. Like they just
Yeah.
they come by your house every 3 years and they're like,
Very true.
yeah, show us what you do and
Yeah.
show us your history.
Yeah.
You got to give us their back. We're cutting off your internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish it was
off their internet.
There would be 6 people in the world with internet only, I think.
a little bit more of a fanfare to this event. Like just have it come out this week, but like let's give it a Thursday and let's make, because a lot of things were released. We kind of got the collector's edition and there's two other the
Jotnar edition
Jotnar
and the
edition.
collector's edition. Yeah.
But there was plans though, like that was a rumor for a long time that it was gonna be like on June 30th or June 26th or whatever the date was. They're gonna have a State of Play, a God of War one. It's gonna announce this, and then when that didn't happen, that's when all the harassment started. And I think they were in a lose-lose situation either way.
Right.
I remember back a couple years ago too when Insomniac released the Raimi Spider-Man suit in the Spider-Man game. Right. They were releasing that as a Christmas gift, and they literally put out in their statement when they released that suit that we're releasing this, but it's bittersweet for us because people have been harassing us and being just so rude and this like vile to us, and we're releasing it as a gift to you, but we're also in a spot where we're upset because you've treated us so poorly.
Yeah.
And it's like we're giving it to you, but we're doing it begrudgingly. And I think they had to do it obviously for marketing reasons, but it's just so shitty. Don't be shitty.
Don't
be
be a
shitty.
fuck.
That's the world. Like that's just the world right now.
It is.
And
It's so
almost
sad.
like I don't blame the studios 100%, but like there is a little bit to blame on just how things are marketed at this point, and just how people get so hyped over things that if they don't get it now, they've turned into like this vile.
But what about
entity.
it though? What about them? Like, what have they said?
It's like 50-50 both ends.
But I don't know. I don't think it's the studio's fault. I think it's
No, but
when
I
we
think
think
it's like
when we look
the
at
whole
people
grandness of the
it is.
of a video game being their lives.
Yeah.
And the video game taking advantage of, like, the studios are taking advantage of the sense that this is going to be this person's life. They never say,
But I don't think they
it's
take
never-
advantage of that though.
But subliminally, they are marketing in such a way that they want this game to be.
But I think that's
everything
that's people who do that though. I mean, the studio.
Well,
it
yeah,
is though. The
but then
studio's not releasing a game saying
so
this
the
is going to
studio's
take
not-
over your life
The studio is not convincing you as a person
to play the game.
because that's the same thing.
But they're not going to say to make it your life, right?
But it is. That's the whole point of marketing, is to make it your life. But
not to obsess over to the fact to be harassing of
But
developers.
even if
There's
it
no
is even if
excusing
it
that,
is
though.
them trying to make
There
it,
isn't.
but even if
No,
it is them
100%.
trying to 1 second, even if it is them trying to make it your life, you should still not be a shitty person. Like at the end of the day, you should be smart enough to not make that. Like you should be able to draw that line in your mind and be like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm still not going to be a shitty person about it. Like this is
I'm not
what
going
it
to
is.
take a picture of my penis and send it to somebody. And you're not saying that. That's not what you're saying
No,
to do.
no,
obviously.
no,
But I get your side of it. We're in a spot right now with, and this is not exclusive to games. Like with every single new Marvel movie that comes out or any single movie that comes out, we treat it, and even us too, like as our livelihood. We talk about it in the sense that this is our livelihoods, this is our lives, this is what we obsess over. And people, and again, I just think that the studio, regardless, was in a lose-lose whenever they were going to announce this, because people were being shitty. They need to put a date on it so they can start marketing it. And we also had a bunch of leaks that were feeding into the people saying, where is this? This person said it's going to be announced today. And then you burn into all of that, right? So it's just such a shitty time on the internet.
That that video game pundit lifestyle is just so frustrating. Hey guys, hearing a lot of chatter about a new Spyro game. It's like, well, where is this coming from? Also, if you have
what's the source? Trust me,
you have nothing to back it up. Just shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah,
because you feed into those stupid internet trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Anything else you guys want to add?
Anthony's just looking at Jay, just like, oh.
And he's like, eyes in a dick.
But getting back to
please.
I like the teaser.
Yeah,
I wish it was more.
It was longer.
Oh yeah,
I would love to understand like the dynamics that we're going to be getting into with the character of what
Atreus and Kratos. Kratos. Just say Kratos, yeah.
And Atreus, and like how their dynamic is, because now he's older. He seems like he could do a lot of things without his dad. How they play with one another, and it feels almost. I wonder if we'll be able to switch back and forth real quickly, and like,
is this going to pull The Last of Us 2 on us? And like, is Kratos going to die? I have this weird feeling.
I don't think you think he'll die?
I think it's possible for Kratos to die, but I have this feeling though.
God though, do gods die?
Gods can die.
They died in the game, but
I have this feeling though that there's going to be some time travel element to this game. Because when we look at Norse mythology and we look at the end of God of War, we see that Loki, or Atreus, is holding Kratos in his arms, and he's giving birth to the world serpent, who also recognizes them at the beginning of the God of War game. So I think there's like this whole thing of like Atreus being like punched so hard through time that like that could be where there could be an older Atreus out there in this world already that we don't know about.
Atreus, or do we call him?
Or is he Loki?
Loki,
right? And I think we're going to see Kratos fight Loki, aka Atreus, and Atreus be an older version of himself. I think there's going to be some weird time travel dynamics.
Trunks and older Trunks.
Yeah.
Oh, but they were both good guys.
Yeah.
From what?
Trunks were.
Oh yeah. So they're talking about Atreus and Loki now.
Yeah, but I 100% think Atreus is going to lift up Mjolnir. And I think Atreus is going to that's going to be his weapon.
So you're going to say 100%? You're saying it's on the show
I am
right now.
banking on it right now.
How much?
There's my Mjolnir that I have on my shelf.
That's not enough.
Yeah. It's made out of, it was forged in the heart of a dying star, man.
Dude, that one looks like it was forged in a factory in China.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I've like. There's no way they're going to show us, or I'm going to say either Kratos or Atreus. I'm going to say it's going to be Atreus. It's going to wield Mjolnir. I think it's going to be Atreus because Kratos is going to have the hammer, has the axe. I think Atreus is going to wield Mjolnir because there's no way it's going to come with the collector's edition. If Mjolnir, they're not going to kill Thor, and Atreus is going to lift up Mjolnir, and then that's going to be his weapon.
I think Kratos. It just doesn't look right in his hand.
Who?
Atreus to wield Mjolnir,
but it's also a smaller Mjolnir, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
it's Mjolnir Junior.
Yeah, it's like a more Norse looking one. It's not like a big hammer like in Thor.
It doesn't seem like a hammer type of kid. Like,
is that Hammer Kid?
Hammerhead.
A hammer bro?
Hammerhead shark.
But yeah, I have a feeling again time travel is going to be involved, and I think we're going to fight an older Atreus, aka Loki, with Mjolnir.
All right,
you heard it here.
You heard it here first. Dave's putting his life on the line.
Life on the line. We'll talk about in November. See you in November.
One thing that I hope you can ride the wolf.
Oh, Fenrir.
Sure.
Also, it's supposed to be one of Loki's children.
The wolf.
The wolf is Loki's children, and so is the world serpent.
Anyways, I would love to ride it as like a car.
Yeah,
like a wolf, like
going through the forest. Yeah. You push a triangle, get on the horse, or get on the wolf.
The wolf,
yeah. That'd be awesome.
Change your radio station.
Different howls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be awesome. If you could ride Fenrir, yeah, 100%.
That's it. That's all I gotta say.
But again, I don't get how Norse mythology works with like the wolf is Loki's child. I don't know. Don't ask questions. Whatever you're into, man.
He is a frost giant. He's not really giant. This is a different version of Loki that we know because it's not real. He's he's a
giant. He's also
the son of Kratos. So
half Kratos and half a giant. Who, yeah.
You know, like
Speaking of wolf people, I didn't realize that Elsa Pataki played the wolf lady that Thor makes love to in Thor: Love and
Oh, really?
Thunder. Yeah.
Interesting. Next news story.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's all we got.
That's all I got.
wolf
He
lady in that movie.
Yeah, because he made love to a wolf lady while riding a woman wolf.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, funny scene though.
Yeah.
It was like 3 seconds though.
Oh, yeah. Comic-Con 2022 panel schedule for film and TV. This is coming from Anthony D'Alessandro, and Patrick Hypes of Deadline.
What I love so much about being back recording the three of us at this movie podcast table is that we're an hour into the show and we're only on the fourth news story.
Yeah. We're
It's
having
great.
a good time.
It's a great time.
Having a
Let's
good
keep
It's
time.
gonna be like fucking
4-hour episode,
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King,
extended edition.
extended edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. After a 2-year in-person hiatus due to COVID, San Diego Comic-Con is raging back with a big footprint by streaming Amazon Studios, Prime Video, Apple, HBO Max, and Paramount Plus TV, and well as big screen feature films. Let's just say they're creeping back. In 2019, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige laid out the future of the MCU with a news-packed panel at San Diego Comic-Con that ended with the surprise reveal that Mahershala Ali was attached to a Blade movie. Little did the screaming 6,500 fans in Hall H know that'd be the last Marvel Comic-Con panel for 3 years. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced on social media that Black Adam will have a panel at this year's event, as did Zachary Levi, who also took to Twitter to confirm Shazam: Fury of the Gods will be present at Hall H. Dan, what do you think?
Great news. I'm really excited for Comic-Con this year. I think Comic-Con, again, it's been years since we've been able to get excited about it.
3.
This is literally going back to our first year of the movie podcast. And I remember so specifically that episode and getting the live tweets and like the pictures and people dropping that news of, oh my God, Mahershala Ali's here. He's wearing a Blade hat. And it's like, he just coming out and getting excited. And it's so far away to think that like that was our 3 years ago. That feels like so long ago.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see what the next, couple years are going to look like on Disney Plus and theaters. Let's get some good news out of this,
Yeah. Some cool stuff. Anthony, what about you?
Like last year when we talked about Comic-Con, like I really thought it was dead. Like I thought,
Oh, Comic-Con last year was dead.
like
Yeah.
but I thought like the whole thing was, this is the times are changing. We're going to be doing more of a
like their own individual events, like
fandom type of thing. And then everyone started to show up at fucking Comic-Con this year, and it's annoying because we looked at it in such a way. It's like, yeah, that's something that was
The old guard. Oh,
now we can kind of
Anthony and Shahbaz just give each other daps like two
did.
losers.
and now we can look
say, like,
forward
prisoners or two
to
losers?
live events
You'd be the
from
judge.
these studios to
Yeah.
show off their movies. Now everyone's going back to Comic-Con, so it's kind of like this flip floppy thing that I don't
E3's
like.
also coming back too, right?
Sure,
So it's
E3's
like-
coming back to
but
everything's coming back.
Everything's
the
coming
whole
back
thing is
now.
they're going back to what they were before, which
Yeah.
is they're not evolving.
No longer adapting.
No, so something that should have been this Comic-Con should be a live event that you can stream. And
I
watch.
agree.
Oh well, no, because we want to make sure that the people who come to San Diego get the experience. But like, well, they're
still getting
3
experience.
billions of people out there that want to see this. They're still getting experience because no matter what, you're gonna go there.
You can't
Make
compare
it a-
live and in person. Yeah.
Make it accommodate the rest of the world. And they haven't done that, and that still annoys me. And it just being in a situation like we are with the movie podcast, we want to be everywhere. We want to give everyone the
Everything
news
everywhere all at once.
and be able to like experience these things so we can come back to our audience and share it.
Right.
But this is just, I don't know. I'm just a little annoyed by it, but
No, that's fine.
I just wish they didn't do it. I know that's
No,
sucky,
no.
but I wish they had their own events because I feel like Disney does their own things really well, and everyone
do,
else
yeah.
does it really well.
Man, that Investor Day still was like
I
a
still think
banger.
about it.
do we
I
still
think about
get
it.
DC fandom this year?
I think we will because, again, do we have DC movies like to really like market for next year?
It's Discovery
Flash
now, right?
And Discovery, and that's going to be weird. Here's the thing. I love Comic-Con in the sense that Comic-Con is amazing for the panels, for the events that people go to. Those are the things that should be Comic-Con exclusive, right? Those panels where people are going to learn about whatever. I agree. Keep the panels exclusive of that. But when it comes to announcing like a slate of movies or things like that, or I think when it's like so when I talk about the panels, I talk about like Like
the obscure ones, right?
the obscure ones, things like that. Keep those ones just for the fans, sure. But when you're looking at Marvel Studios, which is like the biggest known entertainment property on Earth right now, I think I wish there was a way for them to work with Comic-Con and be like, why aren't we streaming this? Because again, I would love their own events too, but I think it being under the umbrella of Comic-Con, people think about Comic-Con more, other than like their own individual events, and that's where they know the audience is going to be and show up. But I just wish that, like, you're right, Anthony. Like, why can't we even buy digital passes for it? You know what I mean? Like, I would even accept, you know what, you could attend every single panel at Comic-Con, or you could buy a panel that you want to watch digitally, and you get to watch it. There's no point in keeping footage hidden behind a panel like that, because you know someone's going to record it and there's going to be a shitty version of it, and most of the time they'll just upload it online afterwards.
You're always going to get a shitty version.
So it's just it's just silly to me that we're in a spot again where it's like, I'm so happy Comic-Con's back, I'm so happy live events are back, but we're like, oh great, we're back to things being locked behind closed doors, and there for people who are there, and I get people are paying a lot of money to be there, but it's also like there's a lot of people on the home audience who would love to watch it, and we've done it too. Whenever there's live events, we get together and we'll watch it or put it in a theater. Why aren't you like even giving, like, that'd be amazing. Like we just had Game Fest, Summer Game Fest, do it at IMAX screens. Like imagine if they're like Marvel Studios is bringing their panel, or Comic-Con's bringing their panel to theaters to watch it. Like you would get people excited, and you could create the hype that way too. I think doing this is such a 90s and 2000s thing where you're not adapting. And I think a lot of that is just Comic-Con being like, no, behind our doors only. But you have to change that. People
are already getting the experience of being there. Like that is an experience of itself. Me watching it shouldn't really take away from them. I don't think it should at all. Like they're not like exclusive to hanging on to
because the news coming out. It gets the news, and
then there'll be official videos that come out, like, and there'll be leaked blogs. Like everything will leak, so it doesn't matter. Like you are special for being there, but you're not special for the information you're getting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and that's exactly, and it's like that thing where you're like, okay, give me an option of watching this properly. Yeah. So we can, let people be part of that conversation. Because again, when you're watching, you're just refreshing Twitter, you're subscribed to people's tweets for it. You're at the mercy of people, tweeting about it and posting about it. And then the people there can't even enjoy it because they're working. And it's like, you create this like pandemonium where you're just like, let just people enjoy it. And I think that's what I love so much about E3, where E3 is, you have the event of people being there, but that information, those events, you could watch it at home and live. And I think that's what's like, you got to be able to do that. You have to be able to.
And do we know if they're even going to try to do this?
We don't know. Nothing's been announced as of yet. I mean, maybe it could happen.
We're going on this rant.
We're going. How dare they?
Like, we actually have
guys.
This will be live streamed.
It'll be in IMAX theaters too. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's free.
But like I just knowing the like Comic-Con in itself and how they are, I just don't think they would be that
forward
receptive and forward thinking to being, let's live stream this.
I doubt it's gonna be live streamed. There's even people who can't even like sign autographs when they're not at a certain convention, right? Because they have agreements with those conventions to do that type of thing.
I just don't want to read this news through a live tweet. It's so annoying, but it's just so.
Well, Shay's gonna read it probably. No, I'm gonna read it. Because that's probably my hosting.
We'll probably cancel the show that day.
It's just, man, we live in 2022, and this is how we get the news. Like, we're behind this wall of...
Here. It's literally like that. Like a boy in the corner just bringing
But again, Comic-Con has those moments, Comic-Con has those hype moments, and I just wish that, that Comic-Con stage could be for everybody.
And people that probably go to Comic-Con are listening to us right now going like, oh, these guys are just losers who couldn't go to... Go fuck yourself.
We could go to Comic-Con 100%. We just didn't expect it to have what they have. I didn't expect it to rise from the fucking dead this year. I thought it was down. It was dead. Like that's it.
Like it was done in the ground. 6 bullets.
Comic-Con. But it wasn't as bad as it didn't go down as bad as E3 went down and somehow came back. Down. Comic-Con went bad because Comic-Con's bread and butter is being a live event with people there, right? So last year,
Comic-Con's biggest enemy is Comic-Con itself. That thinking is only hurting themselves.
It is, and at the end of the day too, there's only so much that you can really show on that stage, because I think people are going to start going the way of not wanting to compete with all the news. and they're going to go the way of DC fandom, and it's going to be like, here's a day devoted to us, and we're going to own the conversation, right? And I love DC fandom.
It's going to be packed this year as well. You can already tell. Like we've been seeing all the expos that have kind of come back. Like there was the anime one that just happened recently, and
Expo.
And I think it was just called Anime Expo. You're right, and it was packed.
Like, they had to call like the fire department to come to the arena. Yeah, LA Convention Center.
Nuts. So.
Yeah, it's good for those people. Like they love that shit. They want to be in crowds of the seas of other anime characters and cosplay.
We'd be happy too if we were there as well, right?
Do it, but like, there's 3 billion people in this world.
No, there's more than that.
I'm pretty sure there's 3.8 billion people.
No, dude, there's like 7 billion people, man.
I don't know, man.
What's wrong?
Look up the population of the world. I'm going to say 3.8
it's like 8 billion. It's like 8 billion people, man.
3. Yeah, it's 7.8 billion people.
Oh, okay.
Andy's like, I'm only seeing 3 of them.
Andy's like, I'm in 95. In 95, there were only
3.
I believe in 95 it was 3 billion.
There's 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
And you're only marketing yourself to like 100,000.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Or like 5,400 who are at the event. Like the smaller.
And then I'm just thinking foot traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 1 million. I don't think 1 million people.
1 million people?
Will walk through that place.
No.
It's not.
1 million people?
1 million people at the LA Convention Center?
It's possible.
That's too many people, man.
No, not at all times, but I mean like walking
like,
through.
Circulating
over the
I'm like,
3 days.
Dude, I'm like, the Hall H holds 5,000 people. That's so much more. Yeah.
No, it'll be like going in and out.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, the foot traffic.
In 1995, Anthony, if you're curious, the population of the world was 5.7 billion.
Okay, so the 3.8 was just me pulling it out of my ass.
Maybe it was when you were born.
Was a difference. Anthony stopped counting.
Yeah, Anthony's like, I don't know.
I think that's what I wish the population was at.
Yeah.
Oh, Thanos
is right. Yeah.
Thanos snap.
I think that's still too.
Speaking of Comic-Con, though, Warner Brothers is going to be there-ish.
Yeah.
Announce a Superman movie. You know?
They're not.
And now it's a Superman movie.
They'll never do it, Anthony. Daniel, they'll never do it.
They're never going to.
Never. Superman is
Dude, you're
dead.
gonna be in the grave, and they'll still have no Superman film.
I'll direct a Superman movie for free. That's how bad they'll get a deal with me. I've never directed a blockbuster film before. First of all,
have you worked with the high intensive CGI budgets?
But I've watched enough movies to know.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
All 3 of us could direct it, 100%.
Yeah, like the 3 of us behind the camera on that. Anthony will shoot it.
We're making Superman walk.
Shane and I will direct it.
Superman walk only, not fly.
Yeah, he doesn't
fly.
No
cape, and his S is upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, distress.
No flights, no tights. That was the motto for Smallville when it came out. Because like, we're not putting him in tights and we're not making him fly.
Did they ever have him in a suit?
Yes, at the end.
At the very end.
Very end.
How did that feel for you?
Earned.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Because it's like, now he's Superman. He's earned this. It should have been Superman a bit earlier in the show. But like seeing that final shot in Smallville, which they're doing, which I'm actually really happy about. They're doing a Talkville podcast with Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent, and Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex. You're doing a show like every single person is doing now, and doing an episode based on every episode of the show. There are 217 episodes of Smallville.
Was The Office the first one to kind of start that?
I feel like the Office Ladies was like one of the big ones. Yeah. And then
Always Sunny.
Always Sunny, Parks and Recs does it.
Yeah.
There's another Office one with the guy who plays Kevin.
Yes.
I forget his name right now.
Michael Baumgartner.
Yeah. And then
that was quick, right?
No, that was a great one.
You guys are like fucking Office nerds, eh?
Yeah,
what's your problem there, huh?
No, I'm
That's not an office code. It's not like you're doing an office code.
Zaz looking motherfucker over here.
Jeez.
So I don't know why I got heated.
We're off the cuff
I'm just saying, like if you just guys love The Office. I think you love The Office.
You didn't say it like that,
I
though.
don't love anything as much as you guys love things.
I don't love anything as much as you guys love.
It's very
Happiness.
true. That is a true statement.
That is a true. No,
happiness. Yeah,
you love.
He's like, I don't even love
The
my
Matrix
mom as
a
much
lot
as you guys
more
love The
than-
Office.
No.
I like the first one. Yeah, and I know I gave my review of the 4th one.
Resurrections.
If I can go back in time, I would change that.
Yeah, that movie didn't hold up.
No, I was only liking it because.
But here's the thing.
A nostalgic moment for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's
But
fine,
then
though.
it just
That's
bothered
fine.
me.
That's
Yeah,
fine, though.
but that's the thing, though. Your opinion of things could change over time,
Yes.
but it doesn't change how you felt in the moment.
You're allowed
though, right?
to do that, by the way.
Am I allowed to?
Yes, you're
You
100%
are.
allowed to
Anyways,
change
you guys
your
love
opinion.
things.
We do. We're really
Anthony
passionate.
loves nothing.
We really
That
like.
is
That's
true.
why we have a
Anthony
podcast,
loves nothing
though. We
very
have a podcast because we like movies.
All
and
I'm
love
saying,
movies.
all I'm saying is, with regards to Comic-Con, I would just love to see some cool announcements out of it. And if there's anything to announce about Superman, I'd be really happy.
They're literally gonna purposely say, "And we have no news about Superman today."
It's upsetting, and again, we've had many episodes discussing this. The very first image of Henry Cavill as Superman came out in July of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie came out in 2013.
Yeah.
And next year will be 2023.
You're right.
And we've gone 10 years without a solo Superman movie.
Dude,
Insane. Longer than we went between Superman Returns and Man of Steel.
you know what I heard helps? Is if you send dick pics to
Oh.
Warner Brothers
Whoa!
and harass them to get Superman out. I think
Daniel
that
already
will
has. We walked
get
in
them.
and we were like, hey, Daniel, why are you pointing your phone?
What I heard
So over the
helps as
ground.
well too is if you hire like a biplane with like a big like
restore the Superman verse.
restore the Superman movie and fly it over Warner
Restore
Brothers.
it. That hasn't been done yet.
Make a Superman movie. Yeah.
Then you're flying the plane, Daniel?
Yeah, I'll fly the plane.
But it's the same plane that Tails flies in Sonic 2.
Sonic? Yeah.
You have to also like
Chipmunks in
you
the
have,
back.
you have to like pass by a farm and irrigate it or whatever. Like fucking give it
It's part of the agreement.
Yeah,
You have to
help out
you
a
also have to
farm.
water this farm.
Yeah.
You also have to drop sand because there's a fire somewhere.
Yeah.
But also if you have time
That's Daniel's life now.
How heavy is this plane, by the way? It's got sand and water. That's a
and
bad-
it has my
It's got mud.
as my banner at the back. Make
yeah,
a
you've
Superman
got
movie.
mud right now mixing in your plane. You've
Yeah.
got for some reason chipmunks in the plane too.
Chipmunks are flying the plane with me.
Yeah,
Listen, I just want a Superman movie.
yeah,
You know, I was watching, as we'll get to very soon, I was watching Superman Man of Tomorrow,
yeah.
and I was just like, this is such a good story to tell, and it was such a great blueprint of a story that you could use to make a Superman movie. And it's upsetting that we haven't had one, because he is like the character, you know?
Yeah.
I won't cry, I'm fine.
You are crying. It's kind of weird, I'll be honest, but I'm just gonna ignore that. Netflix is rolling out spatial audio for all devices in partnership with Sennheiser. This comes from Julie Clover of Mac Rumors. Netflix today announced that it is partnering with Sennheiser for a new spatial audio experience that will be available for the Netflix content catalog. For those unfamiliar, spatial audio is designed to provide theater-like sound from a movie, video, or TV show that you're watching, offering a sound experience that sounds like it's sounding sound. There's so much sound in this
My lord, okay.
article
It's
that
just basically
I got
5.1
lost.
surround sound inside a headphone.
It's like coming from all around you. Now, according to Netflix, spatial audio is the process of rolling out across the Netflix content catalog starting today, and that's the day that the article was written, so that's July 7th, I believe. And users can find shows and movies that support spatial audio by typing in spatial audio into the search bar. Using Sennheiser AMBEO technology, stereo audio will be enhanced with an immersive surround sound experience that is compatible with all devices, all streaming plans, and does not require surround sound speakers or home theater equipment. Anthony, you love spatial audio. Like, they call you the spatial audio king, I believe.
what?
That's what I heard. It was one guy that said it.
I only like use it once
All the
in a
time.
while. Like it's not like all the time. I just experienced it for the first time. I want to say a year ago, and it was like, oh, this is
Yeah, so
sounds
what do you
different.
think about this? Like, how do you think Netflix... I mean, Netflix, we've talked about that they've always wanted to kind of go in a bit more of a technology
I thought
route.
they were. I thought like for Apple devices, they were spatial audio.
They were for Apple devices.
If you watch in the Apple TV app, there are movies that support that.
This
right?
is now
yes.
everything.
Right.
No, it's good. Like I think if you have headphones that are spatial audio designed, and you will be enveloped into this.
Not immersed? You'd be enveloped into
enveloped.
it?
Immersed.
You'll be mailed away because you're gonna go on a journey.
You'll be flat
immersed into either the TV series that you're
Yeah.
watching or the movie that you're watching, and it will feel like you're in that room or you're in that helicopter or plane, whatever is happening on screen. It just feels real, and the technology behind it's fantastic. If you have AirPods, you probably have noticed it if you've watched Apple TV Plus shows and maybe some Netflix content. But if this is going to be available for a wider range of people, 100% it makes sense. It's not gimmicky at all. It really feels like this is the evolution of sound with headphones, because it was always like, oh, I like listening to my movies with headphones on, but I'm not getting that feeling of planes flying past me, or if it was a bullet that zipped by my ear.
Yeah.
And you will feel that. You will feel like you're in that room with that actor because of the hollowness and the reverb that
Yes.
it creates.
Yes.
Yeah.
in a room with not a lot of furniture happening. But yeah, it just elevates the sound game. Like OLED elevates the video game, this elevates the sound game for sure.
True story. I was I was putting on my AirPods Pro, because they have the spatial audio feature, and I didn't realize that I guess my iPad was playing a movie, or I had paused the movie on there. So as soon as I put my AirPods Pro on, this dialogue started, and it was so crisp and so clear, and it sounded like they were in the room. I started looking around like, who the fuck is talking to me? Why is Charlie Day in the room with me right now? What is going on?
Yeah.
It was that good. So yes, this is pretty cool. I'm glad that they're kind of developing their films. I'm also glad that it's not hidden behind like the 4K tier or something like that.
Oh God, can
it's
you
part of
imagine?
all the streaming plans. But yeah, what do you think?
I think this is Netflix looking at the numbers of where are people watching our shows, and they're seeing a lot of people are watching their shows on mobile devices. So why not give them the best experience? You know, most people aren't going to have 4K Dolby Vision on their mobile devices, but what they can have is great audio.
Yeah.
And audio is something that we are the most critical of, and I'm not saying us as a show, we are critical of it, but I think audiences are the most critical of audio, because you could forgive something that's in standard definition, you could forgive something that's in lower quality, but as soon as it sounds bad, you can't get past that.
No.
You don't adjust to that. So you want to give someone the best audio experience, while regardless of what their feed looks like, this is going to be big. And I think the fact that this isn't, proprietary technology, just a Sennheiser, this is something that's going to be on other devices too, like on Apple headphones and Beats headphones, AirPods, which most people own to watch their stuff. They're going to be able to experience that. And I think that's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Cool. Jumping into the box office, cha-ching! Thor: Love and Thunder is now seeing around $143 million opening weekend. That's great. It's going to do great.
It always will do great.
It'll always do. It's a Marvel movie. Like, they never not do great.
Yeah.
So we haven't
Eternals?
gotten... Yeah, Eternals is,
box office wise didn't do as hot, right?
it's hot.
As hot.
It's hot.
Yeah, hot.
Hansel's
Do
very
you think
hot
Miss
right
Marvel,
now.
if she came out as a film, would have been?
No.
Yeah.
As sad as it is to say.
It depends though. I mean, because there's also things that, we look at things and they become cultural phenomenons. And also I think depends what that story is going to be. But I also think Miss Marvel's show or Miss Marvel's story works so well as a show because we're getting a lot more time to develop who she is. So next year when we see her in the Marvels, people are going to be like, I'm showing up for her.
Oh, I really hope so. Again,
But as a debut, it wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have been as hot.
Probably would have been like Ant-Man. Like it's like a small, and I don't mean that as like a smaller character. I just mean that as like box office wise, may have been maybe 5
there are
to
no
700.
small characters. Only small movies. It's not a saying.
What accent was that?
I don't know. I haven't committed to an accent yet.
Okay.
It sounded like The Artist.
The Artist?
Like what's his name?
Was that a sound film?
No, the the movie with James Franco. He played.
Oh yeah,
Disaster Artist.
Disaster
Yeah.
Artist.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. My bad, Disaster Artist. I just said The Artist. I thought you would get it when you did
That
the
was
voice.
so good.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
hear
French
it now.
film.
I hear it now.
There's no small actors.
It's not.
That's funny.
We can't talk about that movie.
That's funny.
Minions: Rise of Gru, though, it's on its second week. The Gentle Minions are out there supporting this film.
Yeah. Let's talk about Top Gun though.
But I'm gonna first give the number. Of the movie.
No. I'm just saying. Like, let's talk about Top Gun.
Yeah, 45 million this weekend.
Good for them.
Great second weekend.
Good for them.
There's going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8 of these goddamn.
I didn't know that this was only the second Minions movie too.
Yeah, but they've also been like 4 Despicable Me's.
I think so.
Yeah.
I've only seen a few Despicable Me's. I don't know which ones I've seen even.
I'm only
I
seen
just don't
one.
understand. Like they don't say words. I don't
No.
understand what are kids watching?
Well, I think it's a silly sounds.
So they're watching an hour and a half of silly sounds.
Yes, kids.
Maybe Gru.
Kids will like
He
that.
probably is. He has
I'm
that.
Gru.
He has that accent. So that
A killer.
Yeah. That was also me doing Zeus, by the way, in Thor: Love and
Oh
Thunder.
yeah, it was very Jimmy the Greek of you.
Jimmy the Greek.
Top Gun
All
Maverick.
right, here we go.
Top Gun Maverick. I'm gonna skip past that one. No, I'm just kidding. It 15.5 million this weekend. This movie is crushing.
2 months old now at this point.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
Who hasn't seen Top Gun Maverick yet? If you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, write into the show. We'll send you money to go watch it.
That's how it
so
works.
Tom Cruise was right
From
to keep it
Anthony's
in
pocket.
theaters for 253 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's 120 days.
No, it's every 3 now.
He's gonna do 300 all year.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, they did the biggest dice roll with this movie of saying, okay, we're not releasing it during 2020. We're not releasing it in 2021. We're going to hold on to. Remember when this movie was delayed like the third time from November 2021 to May? And we're just like, are you kidding me?
Did they keep updating the trailer?
You guys could have dropped it. And we're like, you guys could have dropped it. It would have been fine. And then
we were wrong.
They stunted on all of us. You're like,
they would have been fine. They would have been fine.
They would have been fine.
But you don't know. We don't know if they'd released it. That might have rejuvenated. Because Inception didn't. Because that movie was just too...
Tenet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Inception.
No, but that's
Tenet,
2020 though.
Right, but like Tenet was supposed to be like, we're going to bring back people to the theater.
Yeah, but Tenet didn't open everywhere in the States though. Like theaters weren't open in the States. That's why they were only like open here and in some cities.
In the States.
They weren't open. Like New York wasn't open. LA wasn't open. No, but like who knows? Like because I don't even think they had the Lady Gaga song yet. Like it's just interesting how everything lined up for Top Gun Maverick. And I'm curious if this came out, this wouldn't have had the legs it had because like Spider-Man would have been coming out and other Marvel movies would have been coming out and the Batman would have been coming out.
If you told me that Top Gun Maverick was going to make over $1 billion, I wouldn't have believed you.
It's the highest grossing movie this year.
I wouldn't have believed you. That's crazy.
Top Gun Maverick is the #1 grossing movie of 2022
that is
so far.
And it deserves it. It absolutely deserves it.
Wow.
But what is it doing internationally?
Crazy numbers.
It's over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion?
Sorry,
total?
worldwide?
I think it's like 600 million.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 1.1 right now.
International is about 600
and
million.
it's big.
Or so.
Do we know what like
international numbers?
like who's the biggest out of the internet, like these countries that really put the money towards?
I personally don't. Maybe Daniel will have the answer for us.
I have the international numbers are 544 million as of right now. In terms of the highest grossing markets, it looks like Italy's pretty up there, which is great. France is up there, which is great with like 33 million. France is at Italy's like 11 million. France is 33 million. United Kingdom 82 million.
The only reason I'm asking this is because it's such an American film, so I'm curious to see how like other nations really deal with it. Like how do they love this type of style of
do
movie?
They get it?
And do they get it? Like, because a lot of Europeans, they don't really like the whole America.
Yeah, but I think they like American culture, and I think they like Tom Cruise, which is a big contributing factor.
I just wanted to know which of the countries were the biggest.
Australia is really big. Again, this movie didn't release in China either. No movies have released in China this year, which is crazy to think that they're making this much money. Brazil, a lot of money. United Kingdom, as I was saying. It's making tons of money.
Lots of movie everywhere.
And now there's talks about do they make a third one? And Miles Teller was like, well, it's all up to Tom if a third one ever to come out. Like he is going to make that decision. And I think we know Tom Cruise from just reading articles about why he didn't come out with a sequel
35 years ago.
And his reasoning behind it. Does it make sense now? Because this is a different type of we'll say audience that he's dealing with.
Yeah.
Does he make a third one? Is there a story there?
I think.
Do you guys want to see a third one?
Here's the thing. Top Gun Maverick to me is such a perfect film. I don't need a sequel to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't unless there's like some type of immaculate story, but like that's the story is him coming back to Top Gun after all these years.
I think it would cheapen it.
How do you do another Top Gun story again? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. I don't like, again, people probably thought that of the first film, but this movie had like a different, like just buy into it with him coming back, Maverick coming back, Ice, like calling it like all this stuff, all like, and being with Miles Teller and Goose and the legacy of all of that, where I don't know how you do that again. And
how many times can you have lightning strike?
Yeah.
And this is a sequel, right? Like it never strikes this hard.
What would you even call the third one? Top Gun
Forever.
Top Gun Forever?
Top Gun Forever.
It was like Batman Forever?
Yeah.
Call it Top Gun Dead Reckoning.
Top Gun Iceman.
Oh, but he's dead.
Like, it's just it's a simple story. Like why make it like into this franchise? They don't need it. Like, they don't let it be its thing. And
if they have a great story, I'm sure we'll welcome it, obviously. But you don't need to. I think it's great the way it is. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Like you have a great hit here. You have a great movie. Just a little wary on continuing it.
What if Paramount puts in the same universe as like A Quiet Place? And it's like
quiet jets.
They can't use their jets because they're so loud.
But they're in the middle of the ocean. These things can't get to the ocean.
They could
swim.
They
can swim.
They can?
Or they use the boat.
They use the boat.
You're
Yeah.
telling me they're gonna swim
You
from
tell me they got clickers on planes.
where are they? Where like New Jersey, Connecticut, all the way to the friggin' Atlantic or Pacific
I
Ocean?
think they're in Boston.
Connecticut is in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna swim to the middle
Yeah,
of the
but
ocean.
they also landed everywhere on Earth, though.
They're also in a fucking plane. They're jets, dude.
Yeah. What about Transformers? What if they mix with the Transformers?
Well,
universe?
that's a different story.
And they,
Like he's just flying Tom, and all of a sudden he just starts. Oh no!
Decepticons.
What's the Jets? Name?
Jetstream.
Jetstream. That's
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, I was like, yeah. What's that jet guy? I think it was like screaming something.
Yeah,
I was
he's
literally
always-
gonna say it like that.
Jet Scream.
Jet Scream. Then. Oh yes. Of course.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't put Tom Cruise in Monsters.
What about Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel? Fast and Furious meets.
But it's Universal.
I
though.
know. That's a crossover. Big crossover.
Universal.
Collab.
Dark Universe. The Mummy.
Oh,
Vin Diesel.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Raptors.
And then you got Jackass. So Jackass
What?
Paramount, right?
Oh yeah, Jackass.
there's-
Johnny Knoxville's jumping off of a plane.
My name is Tom
Mach
Cruise. And
5.
welcome to Jackass.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different type of stunts they're doing.
Yeah.
Again, congratulations to Paramount for the wonderful year they're having
Great
with
year.
movies. Good for them, man.
Yeah,
they're killing
they
it.
made a wise decision on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gambled really hard and
Yeah.
it paid off.
Dude, if we were running it, we would have just
We would have lost a lot of money.
We would have been a Superman movie, and they'd be like, "You don't have the rights to this.
We can't do this, guys.
You have to call it Man Super."
Man Super. Super comma, man. But no, like again, with the fact that Top Gun still doesn't have a home release date, they are
riding high.
wave,
This
yeah.
is like when No Way Home was out, and they were just like, "It's making them money. Why would we release it at home?"
Yeah, but it's going to be out in theaters longer than No Way Home.
Oh, yeah, for
was,
sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not going to make as much money, but like, holy shit, it's killing
My
it.
goodness. But also Elvis is doing great too. It's on its third week, and it got 11 million this weekend. And again, this is a movie that I didn't think would make this much money.
It's also bringing in like Top Gun in a very different demographic to the theaters. When I went to go see it for the second time, my dad was like a toddler to the rest of the audience.
Oh, I was like, what happened to your dad in the movie?
No, like
I
my
pictured his dad with like one of those like
Rattles?
baby rattles.
yeah, like he literally like I wasn't even born yet compared to the people.
Yeah, when you
in
were
there.
telling me like the crowd that was with you and like how they all got off the old folks bus.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, good for them for being out and going on excursions to the theater and watching it, but also I knew I knew the day felt off because when I saw the lineup at the box office, I'm like, hold on a second. Who goes to the box office to buy tickets still?
Yeah.
And it was a big crowd of
I'm surprised that
older
movie would have
folks.
like given them a heart attack. I feel because it's so intense.
It's
the
a little
movie,
intense,
You know,
yeah.
like it's just like, rah, like
they started screaming too. When the women started screaming too when Elvis first performed, they were
Yeah.
just like going back to their younger days.
Oh wow,
It was great. No, it's nice to see though.
Nice,
Like,
that's awesome.
It's nice to see people come to the theater.
that's true. Let's jump into some trailers. We got a lot of trailers. We're not going to touch on them all, but let's touch on the ones that are important. So let me go through the list, and then we'll talk about maybe like one or two. Yeah?
Yeah.
We have Honk for Jesus, Luck, Clerks 3, The Woman King, Ticket to Paradise, Hocus Pocus 2, See How They Run, Resurrection, Smile, Amsterdam, and Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. This is the Amazon Prime show. I think right off the bat, let's talk about Lord of the Rings, because that's coming soon. We're getting closer and closer to it.
It looks great.
coming.
It looks great.
It's a teaser. It's not even the trailer yet. Like,
No.
trailer
No.
is the 14th, I believe.
Or yeah, 14th or 15th. Yeah.
Yeah. So teaser looks great. I'm super excited. I want more Lord of the Rings lore.
Me too.
Yeah.
CG looks great. I can't see why people were complaining about the CG before.
People were complaining about something.
What? People
online?
complain? I
I
don't
just
get
don't
it.
get it,
No,
man.
no.
Like,
Everything.
have you seen Thor: Love and Thunder? But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
the story that we're gonna get. Can't be bad. This is literally from the book.
Yeah.
This again, there's so much the fact that they're spacing this out thousands of years before. Tell us a good story, make it interesting, give us action. They've been working on this for hundreds of thousands
Dawn
of
of
years.
time, I
You
think.
know, they've been working on this, so I'm just hoping it's great. I can't wait to see it. And
we got some stuff happening.
Well,
We
I
can't
don't
say
know.
what it is,
I
though.
don't know.
Maybe
You can't ask me.
If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, I would say keep your eyes and ears on the movie
And your
podcast.
feet.
Yeah,
With
put your
feet, too?
Sauron
Yeah.
eye on the movie podcast.
Put
very
your
soon.
hobbit ass feet.
Yeah.
Your hairy feet.
Your
Ew.
hairy feet, yeah.
This took a turn.
Other than that, trailers in the last couple weeks, nothing's been really hitting it. I think Comic-Con's really when we're going to get all these
yeah.
trailers. Amsterdam looks interesting.
Yes,
But it's also
big cast,
but I'm also just like,
controversial.
we'll
as
see.
Well.
How's
Yeah.
it? Why is it controversial?
With David O. Russell,
Russell.
and there was allegations again. I'm not filled in fully on this, but there were allegations that he,
He groped his transgender niece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said it as well that he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't even know that he said it.
yeah.
So
this is David O. Russell's not like he has controversy
For a lot of stuff.
for a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
But yeah, this is.
It's a new one.
Remember when that whole recording of his came out?
Where he yelled.
Yeah, he was yelling at his stars, which was it was kind of funny. But yeah, he's a weird dude.
yeah. So
This is his first film since American
Hustle.
American
yeah.
Hustle. No, but didn't he do? No, he did. He did the one afterwards with Jennifer Lawrence. The
Oh, Joy.
Joy. Was that after?
That was after American
Okay,
Hustle,
so then
yeah.
this is the first film
I
since
don't think anyone
Joy.
saw Joy. That's
No.
why. Yeah.
Cast
but I
looks
saw the
great.
trailer for it a million times.
I saw the
though, in
trailer for it a
theaters, yeah.
lot.
Cast
yeah.
looks great though.
Yeah, it's
And
an all-star cast.
Don't know what. It's an interesting story about these three friends.
Yeah,
that-
John David Washington, Margot Robbie, and Christian Bale.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I have
Christian
no
Bale
idea what the
looks
movie's
great.
about. Yeah, Christian Bale's always great.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's really nothing. Even Hocus Pocus 2, I'm like, okay, it's a teaser. They all look good. We'll see what happens when it comes
They
out.
all
Yeah.
look like witches.
Out this week, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, Where the Crawdads Sing, and The Gray Man.
Can you say Where the Crawdads Sing without an accent?
Without an accent?
Without an accent. It's hard to say without an accent. Where the Crawdads
Where the Crawdads Sing.
Why are you saying it so high?
Where the
though?
crawdads
Because I feel like I have to go high.
Where the
to-
Crawdads.
Where the Crawdads Sing.
I don't have an accent.
Crawdads sing.
You say it.
But I'm saying it's not as fun to say. Where the Crawdads.
Where the Crawdads
We're the
at.
creepy crawlies.
That's not the name of the movie, though.
Crawly daddies.
Crawly Dads. That's what we call us.
Where the Crawdads Sing and The Gray Man will have
we'll
reviews
have some
out
reviews out.
this week on the Week Podcast feed. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Good
yeah.
job, guys.
Yeah, you guys did it. What are we watching?
Oh shit, we're still like
We're still not into the topic of the show.
Let me go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go really
I
fast with mine too.
didn't say that you can go first.
Well, I made the executive decision.
Well,
I'm part
I
of the
am
show.
the
I'm one of the
host.
producers and hosts of this.
Anthony, go first. I was gonna pick you anyways.
Oh, okay, cool. Watched Umbrella Academy season 3. Enjoyed it. Stranger Things season 4. Black Phone, which we didn't do a review, but one of my favorite films of the
You're
year.
the one who watched it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what we're gonna do a review
I'm
on it.
surprised. Like we didn't
We were going to go.
act well. Like we didn't.
Our
after-
screening got canceled. Yeah.
Yes. You guys went to go watch Thor: Love and Thunder twice before you went to go watch Black Phone.
Yeah, but that,
The Black Phone also wasn't playing when I
Second
went to the
time
theater.
wasn't my choice.
I know you should have went to watch the Black Phone.
I should have.
It's a great family film. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's kids in it.
Yeah.
Dead
And
ones.
sorry, the character's name is The Grabber. yeah.
Yeah, what's your point?
About that, yeah.
Blackbird,
Yeah.
which is an Apple TV Plus
Yes.
series.
First 2 episodes are out right now. Go listen to our interview with Paul Walter Hauser.
Miss Marvel, Street Food USA, which we are embargoed. We can't really talk about yet, but
Review next week.
review coming soon. Westworld season 3. Interesting. Westworld's such a weird story.
Was it only 1 episode that dropped last week?
Two episodes
are out.
It's 2 episodes out. Now we're going. Such an interesting, weird story. From what it was in the beginning to what it is now, it's such a
Totally different, right?
change of where these characters are. A lot of it is maybe over my head sometimes. I'm not smart enough for it. There's something else that I'm missing that we watched.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No. Well, I guess
There's a lot. We've been off for a while, so
Yeah.
you can't blame yourself.
I know the last time I was here, we talked about how I was playing Fallen Order, and I think right now I really got into playing Fallen Order, trying to finish this game. Really enjoying the story and the insects that are in there and the
Yeah, the
monsters and the lore. Just the mechanics. Awful.
Yeah,
I know I said
was
that
the tough
before,
part.
but now that I've really got into this game, it's just not fluid enough.
It really sticks out.
Sticks out.
Yeah. Hopefully in the sequel they tighten that all up to feel really good.
I hope so. But that's all I've been doing.
Daniel, what about yourself?
For me, I'll go really fast. I saw Top Gun Maverick again. Miss Marvel has just been a delight to watch every week, especially the last episode. We got episode 5, which was just lovely to see. Thor: Love and Thunder, we did watch for our review, which you could go listen to now. I did see it again, and my thoughts are very much the same. Superman: Man of Tomorrow, I spoke about earlier in this episode. Really great animated film, and it's the first in DC's kind of new universe that they're establishing of these animated films. So it's the same universe as Justice Society World War II, the same universe as Batman, The Long Halloween, and the upcoming Green Lantern, Beware My Power, which is going to be a Jon Stewart story, which I'm really excited about because he's my favorite Lantern. So it's a bit of a unique or a different animation style, a bit harder lines, and I actually really, really like it. Great voice acting as well. Definitely check it out. What else? Yeah, street food we'll be talking about next week, so look forward to that. And I just, like I said earlier as well in the show, I finished God of War, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I've picked it up again after being off of it for years and only really playing the first hour before. A lot of issues with it for me personally. I don't think the story is really that interesting, and the game mechanics aren't really gripping me. I've been sending you both like essays of me playing it, and just like I'm like, why is this like? Why is it like this? And like, it's especially jarring after finishing God of War and then playing that afterwards, which both came out the same year, and they feel like they're almost 10 years apart.
April and November?
April and September.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Tomb Raider also just came out like a week after Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
So it really came out in a really bad spot. And then I watched The Princess with you, Shay, which is a brand new Hulu / Disney Plus star film starring Joey King. And it is not a great movie.
No.
It's and there's a really cool idea here, and I think there is, if this movie really stuck to it being like the Raid Castle Crashers edition, I think it would have landed more. But I think the cinematography and the action is just really clashing together, and it's really trying to be stylistic and it's trying to be really cool, but it doesn't pull it off. And I think that's what's really hard about the watch while watching this film. And also I think the performances, I like Joey King as an actress. I just don't think she's given much to do, and I think everyone in this movie just feels like they're just kind of showing up, doing their part, and then dipping out.
It was definitely a paycheck, yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't really recommend you spend your time with it. It's a skip it for me.
Yeah, for me, Blackbird. I also finished Loot.
Oh, Blackbird. Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah. Great.
Blackbird, great show. Loved it. I also finished the show Loot on Apple TV Plus. The episodes are still coming out. I highly recommend it if you have Apple TV Plus. Maya Rudolph is an absolute god. I love her so much. She's so good in this show. Highly recommend watching it. It's by Alan Yang and Matt Hubbard, and you have to know them because they're fantastic. And we've had them on the show as well.
Friends of the show.
Miss Marvel, absolutely loved episode 5. My family loved it too. Like, they really got to them emotionally, which I love to see that. Stranger Things season 4, we're pretty much all done now. I rewatched Avengers Infinity War because Thor Love and Thunder really hurt me. And no, it didn't hurt me. I'm just kidding. But like, I was like, oh man, I want to watch something that's good with Thor.
And I think following Ragnarok, which we loved, and then seeing Chris Hemsworth's journey with Thor in Infinity War and in Endgame, and seeing that like, oh, it's ending with him with the Guardians, and then seeing that story. I think the biggest criticism we had with the movie is that it just didn't feel like there was a story to tell in this movie, right?
Everything was forced. And again, the second viewing that I watched, if anything, it made that feeling worse because I was like, oh man, like I didn't push the needle forward for me. If anything, pushed it back.
Yeah.
Watched Top Gun Maverick again, and of course, The Princess. The same things as Daniel. Princess is it has an idea there that could work, but they spend so much time on making it not work, and it's just silly. Like you shouldn't have a movie where there's 80 people surrounding one character and they're all being killed off because
Let's take our turns.
They're taking their turns. Like, it's silly. Like, you make it seem natural, but they're all just kind of waiting. Like, it felt like a video game from 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the greatest. Let's jump into our topic of the show. So we'll kind of go like in a round robin style of just talking about what are some of our favorite films so far of this year, the first 6 months.
So we'll go one movie each, and then we'll talk about that movie if that person says it.
Yeah.
So let's say if Anthony claims the Batman, then that's when we'll talk about it, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So let's start off with Anthony.
The Batman.
Damn it!
Well, the show's done now.
Yeah.
Anthony, tell us why the Batman.
The listeners know, like, the Batman's a really good movie. Like, it's a great film. It's a gem of a film. It is a fantastic version of what I wanted from Batman the character in a movie. He got everything down right, from the grittiness to the story and the detective and just the characters that are involved. Everything about it is fantastic. And some people don't like it, and that's great. But like to me, is just this was what I wanted my Batman to be, and I got it. Matt Reeves did a fantastic job with this film, and I wonder where, like, come award season, where it will fall, if it will be nominated for anything.
I think technical will be there.
Technical,
performance
for
wise,
sure.
probably not.
Directing, cinematography, cinematography is just fantastic.
I think cinematography would be there for sure. Greg Fraser's just coming off his Oscar win for Dune. Yeah. What more can we say about the Batman that we haven't already said on a million episodes this year? It is a phenomenal movie. It is the definitive version of Batman, and it is a worthy, it is up there with my love for what I have for the Nolan films, which are, especially The Dark Knight, being my favorite film of all time. This movie grips you from the very first moment where you're going through Gotham City and you're seeing the perspective of the Riddler. Then it cuts to, Batman just being a creature of the night, and the way this movie just uses shadow and light, and like you're looking at every corner of this movie thinking it's almost like a horror film, because you're like, is Batman there? Is Batman there? Like all these criminals, you sense that sense of fear that they have, and it's so magical. Then you see like just his relationship with Alfred and his relationship with Commissioner Gordon. This movie pulled something off that we've never really seen before, and it established so much of the lore of Batman in one film, where we're getting Riddler, we're getting the Penguin, we're getting Catwoman, we're getting Joker, we're getting like is it Maroni or is it Falcone? Falcone. Like we're getting him, and we're establishing this role of the Batman, and then we're going to be getting a Penguin spinoff, which I can't wait. And then obviously we spoke to Mike Marino earlier this year, but what a movie! Like what a phenomenal movie! Beautiful action, beautiful score. This movie, and then obviously with another movie that we'll talk about, are the reasons why I go to the movie. And this is a movie that I think this movie did for me now what The Dark Knight did for me in 2008, where I just felt like I was transported. And this movie, there was a before and an after, and that's what the Batman was for me.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you guys. Batman was phenomenal. We had a great time watching it, and it was one of those movies that we couldn't wait to own. Like there's movies that you watch in a theater and you're like, yeah, that's fantastic, but I'm okay to wait till it goes on sale. This is a movie that we couldn't wait to get our hands on.
Yeah.
And we bought when it was $29.99.
Yeah, we bought it at its most expensive.
Yeah, we burned through those bonus features, because that's the art of watching movies at home, is those bonus features. I love watching the behind the scenes, how they make things, and this movie has a stacked bonus features list.
Why don't you send me write your address down?
I'll send you a little letter.
I'll send you a letter. I'll hand deliver it to you.
Yeah.
How many of these are we doing? Are we doing like how many rounds do you want to do?
Let's do about 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go next.
What else? Okay, listen. I have to follow it up with Top Gun Maverick, because let's get this conversation going, because we've already spoken so much about it. Again, what more can we say about this movie that this, like with Batman, this is why I go to the movies. This is why we go to the movies. Yeah. A movie like this makes you fall in love with movies, and Top Gun Maverick is why Tom Cruise is the biggest movie star in the world.
Yeah.
No one else could have made this movie but him.
No.
I know we think of George Clooney, we think of Brad Pitt, we think of Leo as these giant movie stars, Denzel Washington. Tom Cruise is a movie star. And I think he is like the last big movie star. And I don't think there's really anyone in his league right now who's doing the roles that he's doing. Yes, Denzel and Tom Hanks and Leo and Brad Pitt are all doing great pictures and great films. But Tom Cruise is like doing this action. And I think that's what makes him such a damn fucking cool movie star.
The last action hero.
He
is that the embodiment of that name.
Amazing movie.
But yeah, for me, Top Gun was, again, a film that I was weary getting into, because it's a sequel to a cheesy. The first one was a little cheesy.
Oh, a lot of cheesy.
But this one was so different, and the technology now that we have to film these planes and to get the cockpit view and shot on IMAX and this and that.
Yeah, they had like 8 cameras in each cockpit. It's crazy.
And even just the story, just being a simple story about him coming back to Top Gun and training these new elite fighter pilots on this mission, and everything that we experienced from it was a real great experience from a film. It's been a long time since I kind of got that rush of adrenaline.
Thrilling.
Batman was great, but the thrill, like just the high of a movie I got from the Maverick.
Oh, totally
Top Gun
different.
Maverick.
Totally different type of adrenaline for sure.
And Top Gun Maverick also, it's such a universal film.
It is
in the sense that it should make almost anyone happy.
It's the summer of Top Gun.
I took people to see that movie who've never watched the first film or who have no care about anything that Top Gun represents.
And no care about anything in life. And they were cured.
And they were laughing and jumping. No, and they left going like, that was an experience. Because the movie, it has this nostalgia, this heart to it. And I love the fact that it's not, at least as what we know, they're not talking about a specific country.
They're not. No,
they're not. They're not saying, "Hey, we're gonna go bomb the Middle East." That's always the case in these films. But this movie takes just an approach where it makes it ambiguous enough that you can enjoy without worrying about who you're upsetting or offending.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Like, yes, it's a very pro-America movie, but this movie also represents. It's a very kind of like 80s, 90s America.
Where it's not in your face.
Where it's like,
you'll see a flag a couple times, but that's about it.
Yeah, but it's never just like, America, we're the greatest country in the world or anything like that. It's very much the America that I think America wants to aspire to be. Where you're taking down bad guys and you're destroying things that are going to hurt people. You're there to help the world. You're not there to inflict danger on it or fear.
Danger zone.
Like it's like very much I think the America that it wants to aspire to be.
Wow.
Right? Shay, drop another one on us.
Another gem I've got for you guys here is the best multiverse film this year. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. What a phenomenal movie this was. This movie completely took us by surprise. The heart, the emotion this movie created. The Daniels created a movie that...
Thank you.
Not you, though. You weren't one of them.
No.
No? Were you?
No.
A secret? Maybe
I'm the third Daniel.
You're the third Daniel. This movie took something that, is so bizarre, like the multiverse, and made it easy to grasp. It took something that we've not seen before and made us love it. Like, these are all characters. The fact that it's an all Asian cast as well is what makes this movie phenomenal. I love this movie so much, and the ending always gets me emotionally. You have a movie where people have hot dog fingers, and like I say that, and it's like a silliest thing in the world, but it works.
And they stick butt plugs up their butts. You know what I mean? They stick trophies.
Where else would you put a butt plug though?
It's true.
Damn, you got me there. Mm-hmm. You got me there.
What are your guys' thoughts
Multi-use.
on? Would you say this also ends up in your top 10?
Yeah. It's in my it's my number 3 of the year right now.
Yeah.
It's Batman, Top Gun Maverick, and Everything Everywhere for me right now.
Yeah.
I didn't give my numbers.
I know it's okay. I'm just looking at my list for the end of the year, but yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. What more could we say? Again, like, this movie is just gorgeous. It's visually some of the craziest things I've ever seen in a movie. You go into this movie and you leave and you're just like, I feel like I just was like, my heart rate was like at 200 for the last like.
Oh God, that's intense.
It's really fast. Yeah. I mean, for like the last 2 hours. My only complaint with Everything Everywhere is I think it could be a little smidge shorter.
Yeah.
But because it's
like 5 minutes, I think. You could.
I would say 15 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
45 minutes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
The whole movie. No.
8 minutes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It is. It's like I said, it's visually stunning. Michelle Yeoh is phenomenal. Ki Hui Kwan, who we had on our show, what a return to film with this movie. Yeah. What a return to Hollywood movies. I just can't wait to see him in everything now because he is so damn good. That scene of him just like talking to Evelyn, just being like, in another universe, I would have happy to like own a laundromat with you and do our taxes. Like, that scene always gets me. Wow. It's beautiful. It's just such a beautiful film. Mm-hmm. And Stephanie, who plays the daughter,
who was her last name?
Sue. Phenomenal performance. I think it gets overlooked because of how incredible Michelle Yeoh is in this movie, and I hope this movie gets its due, at the end of the year or the Oscars, whatever, we'll see. But if you're going to look for a movie that is unlike anything you've ever seen, Everything Everywhere All at Once is where to go. It's that movie.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you. I think movies like this are what make the uniqueness of films, getting away from just the continuous sequel idea, like
original
idea,
movies.
And this is so original, and taking things that we are so aware of, like the multiverse, and then making a story out of it from this plain family that deals with it. It's so unique in its sense. I loved it. Yeah, it's a little long, but the overall experience from this film is just something that will last with me for so long. Like, it's something that I'll always go back to. And I love films that they take the risks and they come out shining, because that's what makes these movies timeless.
Yeah.
And it did well box office wise.
It did, yeah. It's the most successful A24 film. I'll take a movie that swings for the fences any day.
Yeah.
Then plays it safe,
100%. Anthony, what else you got?
Let me see here. My list, I got Elvis.
Elvisio. Oh. Dude in your Elvis voice.
Oh, I don't have an Elvis.
He did for a second. He's like, oh, wait a second. I don't have one. He literally did it. He's like, wait, I don't have one.
You literally you did 5%. You're like,
I like that. I really
so
liked
funny.
Elvis. I love the story. I love everything Baz gave me in that film.
Thank you.
I didn't. I still
Shahbaz, right?
Elvis was just so good. Oh, there's
Whoa.
even the people outside.
What the hell is honking out there?
You guys talking about Elvis?
Austin Butler did a fantastic job playing this character. He had no right to play him so well. For the first time, we'll say big
this is his
role,
breakout role for sure.
He did everything for this character, and he brought his A game for it, and it shines. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Everything about this film, and I didn't think I would like it this much. Everything about this film just does a great job of captivating these moments in his life and bringing them to the present. And the way it was shot, the cinematography, the pacing of the editing, everything about it just resonated with me. And it still does. It's still like, man, I want to go watch it again, because it's just energizing. It's a history lesson as well, because again, I didn't know much about Elvis. So learning a little bit more about his life and his career and where it started and where it ended, it's always scary to make biopics because you want to do it so right. And I believe Baz Luhrmann did a fantastic job bringing someone who isn't an Elvis fan into a world of Elvis.
No.
And I think a lot of people agree with me.
Yeah, we do.
Especially like
we do.
who are you talking to? The older crowds who grew up with him. Because we didn't grow up with him. No one grew up with him unless you were.
Well, people did.
Well,
but you know what I'm saying? Like the
That's
our
alive
audience,
now?
Our audience,
yeah, our audience most likely
has
didn't.
not.
No.
So this is someone who died in 1970s,
74.
right?
Yeah.
So we're really disconnected, other than what we know of him, and being this icon. It was fantastic to see.
Yeah, and I think what's so special about when you grow up with artists, like for myself, like I grew up loving Paul McCartney, who is still alive, obviously, but the Beatles not together anymore. It's so interesting when you discover their music when you're younger, because you discover all of their music all at once, right? So it's not like you're growing up to have an album come out, then a couple years later another album comes out. It's like you're growing up and you have the accessibility of everything, and then as you grow older, your tastes start to change. And with Elvis, like I grew up loving Elvis. My dad was a huge fan of Elvis, so was my mom. And going into this movie, like it really is a shot of adrenaline when you're watching it, right? And I think
it's another adrenaline rushed film.
Like you're watching it and you're feeling it's thrilling. Like again, a very different type of thrilling from Batman, very different from Top Gun. But you're watching something special. And I think Austin Butler is that something special. And I think Baz Luhrmann is the only type of director who could have pulled a movie like this off, because he has such a style to him. This movie is dazzling that way, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think any other director has this type of sensibilities to make an Elvis movie the way he made this Elvis movie.
Yeah, man. Very exciting film. Very, very exciting. Damon, what else you got?
I'm looking at my list. There's a lot of great movies here. And there's two movies I'm debating over, but I want to get this out because this one was earlier in the year. Turning Red. I think Turning Red was such a delight this year. Domi Shi, this is her first directorial debut for a feature-length Pixar film, and the fact that she's a hometown hero for us, a Toronto girl,
friend of the show, was on the show earlier this year too, with Maitri Ramakrishnan, who's in the film, and Lindsay Collins, who was a producer on the film. They made such a unique story, and I think this is where Pixar always shines, is when Pixar is telling very specifically unique stories. And to have this movie take place in Toronto and showcase
our city and showcase our culture, and also showcase the story of this girl who's trying to hide who she's on the inside, and she turns into a big panda because that's of course what she has to turn into. I think it's just such a cute film, but also just such a great coming of age story that is a more mature coming of age story that kids may be used to who are watching a Pixar film, but I think a necessary story to tell, and I think that's what Turning Red is. It's just beautiful, really beautiful story.
It really reminded me of like that era of Pixar where every film was so different and so original, and it touched on the emotional elements, but also it was fresh and new.
Yeah.
Because I liked Soul, but it didn't hit me as hard as I wanted it to.
It didn't have as much soul as I wanted.
Exactly, and Onward, kind of same idea there, but when Turning Red came out, it was just like, man, this is so good, and maybe I related to it obviously because of Toronto and everything that's happening there, but it was just great. It was the music, everything about it. I had a great time, a lot of fun.
It's also like the story of an immigrant living with
like
just dealing with
a child living with immigrant parents, right?
So it's another big thing that I think a lot of us can relate to as well.
Yeah,
because all our parents are immigrants, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm an immigrant.
What?
I'm an immigrant.
That's true. Yeah,
I was not born here. You guys heard it here first.
What's the
disgusting? No, wait, is that not what you guys are going for?
No.
What's that word? Disgusting.
But no, Turning Red was a fantastic film. Again, a movie that I didn't think I would love as much.
Yeah.
You know, like it brought a lot of the things that I grew up with, especially being from Toronto, from that time period.
Yeah.
To the present.
From the 6.
From the 6.
Yeah. Wasn't called the 6 yet, though.
No,
animation was fantastic. Yeah. The comedy was fantastic.
And animation was so different, too. Like, we saw a lot of different animation styles that, Pixar doesn't normally play with. And you saw the influence from anime and from just other animation styles that we don't typically get, right? So it was really cool to see that.
It's very true.
Sandra's a delight.
Because we've gotten about, I want to say 3 Pixar films in the last 2 years. We got Luca, we had Turning Red, and then we have Lightyear. Turning Red,
and Soul.
Turning
and
Red,
Onward.
Luca,
Onward before the pandemic.
Very similar type of animation. Then you had Soul, which was
classic. Pixar. And like, let's stunt on everybody.
Then you had Lightyear, which is different than what we've
more realistic looking, like
more
realistic
looking.
It looked like a cinematic movie.
It looked
right?
like Interstellar, yeah.
But it's the story. The story really resonates, and I think people who haven't had a chance to watch it, go watch it because it's a great story.
It's a great film. That's been 5 movies so far, guys.
Yeah. The next one I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah.
It's another great multiversal film. Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Great movie. It was super funny, really great time. I loved it. I just had a great time with it.
That one is another one that when we found out that it was being made, we're like, what is this going to look like?
And why?
And then when that first trailer dropped, I remember so well when that first trailer dropped. We just came out of the Uncharted screening.
Yes.
And we watched it. I'm like, this is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And we're like, who's directing this? Akiva Schaffer.
Lonely Island.
And Lonely Island's involved. And like, who's in it? John Mulaney and Andy Samberg and Seth Rogen and Will Arnett. And it's like, this, I think, if anything, is going to be just really funny. And then we watched it and I was like, this is fucking great. And this is like one of the best hybrid animation live action, because this movie is so self-aware and knows exactly what it is. And this movie knows that it's how ridiculous it is to exist and how ridiculous CG and live action hybrids are. And I just love that this movie embraces all of that. And it's just so funny. Tells a story that they're being like knocked off by like this like another
bootleg films.
They're being bootlegged, and it's just so funny that like the story that it kind of takes you on, right? It's really
got
cool.
Great performances, and I think one of my favorite characters in this movie is Ugly Sonic. I mean,
how
did they get away with that? Is what I want to know.
And then they had Anthony's favorite moment, obviously, is when all the Seth Rogans appeared on screen at the same time.
All the
different Rogan characters.
I closed my ears and
ripped out your eyes,
and you just heard the faint. Such a funny moment, though.
Great movie.
You know, like again, it's just such a funny film, and you just see the love that was put into it, right?
Yeah.
Akiva, another friend of the show.
We're
just stunting on you guys right now too.
FOS.
All of our friends right now.
They're TMP.
Friends of Spider-Man.
Yeah. TMP FOS.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Am I going next?
Yeah.
I think it's you. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
Marcel the Shell.
There it is.
I knew it.
There it is.
Ladies
Marcel
and
the
gentlemen,
Shell,
wrap it up.
with
We got
shoes
Marcel
on,
during
had
the show.
no right being this loving and this.
Why does it?
I know
why
every
did-
movie
It did,
had
though.
no right.
It's the movie you've been waiting
gave
for,
me-
and it has no right to be this good. Why doesn't it have a right?
Anything that gives me some sort of reaction.
You have
has
no right to change my
When
emotions.
I looked, I saw this movie with Anthony in the theater, and I looked over at him, and I saw a tear.
You saw his mouth was doing this weird thing, and you
It
know
was like upside down from what it usually does.
yeah. And I'm like, hold on, is he smiling?
I was like, Anthony, are you okay? And he's like, I am enjoying things. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
I am feeling.
This movie was the most A24 film.
Yeah.
It just, even though it's a kid's film, essentially
Yeah.
it's a kid's film, which is not an A24 film.
It's the
but
most
it just-
A24 and not A24.
Yes, but it feels so A24.
Yeah.
And the first sequence of this movie where Marcel is traveling in a tennis ball, and that's how he gets around in this house.
So
is
cute.
So cute, and it's so it's perfect for his character this is how he lives, and the voice, and the story of longing, and the story of dealing with
family.
change and finding family is just fantastic. The comedy's on point. I love this film. It's just
Beautiful.
It was so beautifully well. It was so well made, and everything that we saw in this film just made sense. It
Right.
worked so well together. It takes place in one house.
Yeah.
It didn't have to go on this extravagant adventure with a shell that talks. And the idea of it having this relationship with its grandmother and loving 60
Marcello.
minutes is something I would have never thought of.
endearing.
Isabella
it's
Isabella Rossellini was just so heartwarming.
Yeah.
I loved
So
it.
hard.
I love
and I
this
love
film.
Jenny Slate.
There's such an
100%
innocence to this movie.
Day
right?
one by for me.
Beautiful film.
Yeah, the DOB for sure.
DOB.
What else
Even
you
your
got?
acronyms today.
Yeah, me. I always make
two
acronyms.
A24 films. Maybe a third.
There is actually a third on the list.
Maybe a third.
There's a third on my list at least. Daniel, what else you got?
X.
That's a
X
third.
gonna give it to you.
This is what's so funny about X is that Anthony and I finished watching this movie. Shay, I think you were murdered that day.
Dude, I remember that morning so
Oh, you were
well.
dead. You were
I
not
woke
feeling good
up
that morning,
and
yeah.
I was like, guys, I feel like I was murdered on this movie set right now. I felt like total trash. No COVID, luckily. It was just bad sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, you have to go without me because these screenings are early in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, please go without me
Yeah.
and tell me how it is. And you guys told me how it was.
But here's the thing, though. Anthony and I left the theater, and we were just like, okay, that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then something that was really interesting, it doesn't happen too often, we just
When it
kept
does.
talking about it and talking about it. And then we were walking to the car, and we were driving home, and we just kept talking about it and talking about it. And we are like, hold on a second. Do we love this movie? And we're like, yeah, I think we do. And then by the time we recorded our review, like an hour later, we loved it. And you could go back and listen to our review of X, and we kind of tell the story in more detail. But like, what a great movie! What a great premise! What phenomenal performances, I think, from Jenna Ortega and from Mia Goth, doing dual roles in the film.
Yeah.
This is what I want. Like this, like I'm not a huge horror fan, but I guess I am because I'm watching a lot of these horror films. But X is just such a great movie, and it's just such a the concept of it, is that there are these adult filmmakers going to this cabin to make a movie, and then obviously this old couple who's there starts kind of hunting them, and there's it's just such an interesting premise, and then you see the execution of it. It's one of the most beautiful looking movies this year just because of how just simple it is.
It's very raw.
It's very raw, and it's just so good. And now that I know there's a prequel coming out, there's going to be a sequel. I just can't wait for it. I want more of it. I'm so down.
X2
X.
United, I believe, right? That's what they're
X2.
calling the second one?
X2
X2 United?
X2 United, yeah. Phenomenal movie. A24 has been doing great this year with their releases.
Oh, yeah.
Do
Does that know, do you have anything to add to X?
Yeah, no, not really. That Daniel summed it up pretty well.
He did some of it pretty well.
Do
No, he did a really good job.
do our
Thank you.
go do our review.
Go
listen,
to our...
go listen to our review of it. I think because
yeah.
it was when we recorded that was right. Like we recorded it right after we watched it. It wasn't like this 2-day thing that we kind of waited and we recorded. So a lot of our thoughts and how we felt at that moment were really expressed.
This is raw, yeah.
in that review.
We fell in love with it even more in our review.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think everything that came out of X was again something I was unexpected, and it revolutionized the horror genre for today's age. We were given Scream, which again I wasn't a big fan of Scream,
Right.
but there was there's horror films that just feel like other horror films. This movie didn't feel like a horror film that
felt
we
like it was
watched
inventing
before.
its own thing.
And it's its own thing. And I think that's where X shines for me.
Yeah.
That is just it's its own thing, but it still pulls from all these other horror elements from our favorite horror films.
Yeah.
And encompass it into one.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely loved it.
A24 did a fantastic job with all 3 films this year.
Yeah, I watched it as soon as it came out at home, and I was like, "Damn, that's a good movie."
Do you regret not showing up?
No, if I did show up, I probably would have thrown up in the theater because I was feeling violent.
That was okay. Like you could have thrown up.
We
in the
accept
corner.
that. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, the next time
We're
I'll show
down
up.
for it. We're
I
down for
apologize. The next movie, oddly enough, the one I picked in here was Scream. I actually really liked Scream. I had a great time with it. I screamed a lot. That's the purpose of the film, I believe. But no, I had a great time with it. I think like you're making the 6th film in a franchise that, you know, the 3rd film didn't do it for me. The 4th film's great. In fact, this is the 5th film. I said 6th. My apologies. This is the 5th film. And I had a really good time with it. I thought this is a great going back to this world. They had a great story to tell, great kills. And I just said I had a fun time with it.
I really enjoyed Scream as well too. I like how, again, Scream films have always been very meta, and this one was talking a lot more about reboot culture and requels. Requels.
Yeah.
I really like that. I really like the new cast as well, so I'm excited to see what friend of the show,
Devin Nakota,
does next year in Scream 6. What do you think they're going to call it? Do you think they're just going to call it Scrix?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to call it? Do you think they're going to call it Scream 6?
Scream in Manhattan, or maybe like, you know how like when like Jason Takes Manhattan or something like that.
Scream Takes Manhattan.
I don't know.
They can do a play on that for sure.
They could do a play.
There could be a play.
There could be a play.
There could be a live
on Broadway.
That was movie number 9.
That was.
So we're gonna.
Last
So
film.
here's the thing: do you guys want to stick to 10 movies, or do you want to make it so we have 3 each?
Well, what if the last film you pick right now?
But
is
it's Anthony's pick.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a film that I don't think you guys are gonna have on your list
It's gonna be
because you haven't
super
seen it.
Weird. Oh, okay. Then we know.
And then maybe the last one in my list would be the last in yours.
Well, the last in Daniel's.
In Daniels. I think we.
Well, this is technically the last one now. This
is the 10th
11,
film,
12.
But yeah, I feel like the next one you're gonna pick is gonna be
everything
on my
that we
list.
talked about
Maybe.
is in the list of my list.
Yes.
Except this film, which
Okay.
is The Black Phone.
Yeah. Okay.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what accent it was.
Okay.
I don't know. That's the Black Phone accent.
The Black
I was
Phone.
doing.
This Black
from
Phonian?
Scott Derrickson, which was
Scotty D.
again a revolution.
Pardon me.
Pick the word.
Yeah, so he was like, "What fucking word are you saying?"
What, Scott?
Rejuvenated the horror genre this year.
It had no right to be this good at
It
it.
had no right to be this
This is the rejuvenation you've been waiting for.
No, but it was a great film. I enjoyed my time with The Black Phone.
I'm excited to watch it.
And I go back to it a lot. And the story that was given to us, or me, was something I have... The story that
You
was
made
given
that
to
so
me...
about yourself so quickly.
Well, I watched it alone. So, yes, I was the only one in the theater.
What? That's scary, man.
Well, I had
That's
to-
kinda scary.
It was like a matinee. Like, was it 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock?
Yeah,
so it was not-
That's not Black Phone hours.
But no, Scott did a great job of telling this simple story about this kid who gets kidnapped and how he's dealing with his kidnapper. And the movie's only an hour and 30 minutes, so you're really thrown in there. But there's a lot of elements that are added in the beginning of this movie, which really comes up with the most satisfying ending that I've experienced in a film, because it was really satisfying.
Damn, I'm excited to watch it.
I really like the
excited
ending.
to see
And the boy who's kidnapped, he has a sister who does a fantastic job of playing this girl from that time period, because it does take place in the 70s. But just she is a pivotal part of this whole movie because of her well, I'm going to say her gifts. And it's from beginning to end, you're really captivated and you're really wanting to know, okay, how is he going to get out of this? Or how does this family deal with his kidnapping?
Right.
It gives you Stranger Things vibes, and I think that was right after watching Stranger Things that you had that time period. It gives you, Summer of Sam, that 70s where horror was like living in the 70s felt like there was a lot of horror elements.
Yeah, and I think that's what X did, right? Too, right? Like,
yes,
you feel
but
that in X.
it just felt more real though, because it was about a kidnapper.
Yeah,
and we watch Mindhunter, and we see all these serial killers and how they dealt with them in the 70s and 80s. It just brought me back to that point. So it for me, it just blew me away. I loved it.
So I'm excited to check it out then. For my last one, there's do you guys want to do honorable mentions as well too, or
Sure.
There's a lot so I'll do my honorable mentions right now. Multiverse of Madness, I had a great time with this year. I really like that movie a lot. Cha Cha Real Smooth is another one that it's been on my mind a lot. I think Cooper Raiff directed and wrote and starred in such a wonderful film that you should definitely watch on Apple TV Plus because it is just really, really, really good. But for my last one, I'm trying to think where I could go with this. I'm going to say
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time, everybody. I think for myself, The Northman is another one that I thought was just beautiful.
Yeah.
But just for the pure happiness it gave me, I think Jackass Forever. Going to the theater and watching that and experiencing with you, Shay, who has never seen a Jackass film, it was just a fun experience, and it made me happy. And again, it gave me another feeling of being in the films, much like the Batman, Top Gun, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis. When a movie is able to incite a different feeling out of you, it's really special. And I think Jackass Forever, it's a Jackass movie. It's supposed to be dumb and stupid, but it made me so happy being in a theater. And that's what the feeling it gave me. And that's why it's been on my mind of a lasting impression of just feeling happiness in a movie theater. And again, we watched this about a week after theaters reopened here in Ontario after being closed for a month and a half, right? Or a month. But it was nice being back, and it just made me just happy being in a movie theater.
I remember what I enjoyed the most about that film was watching it with you. Because seeing you really happy during the movie made me happy. Like, I generally looked over and you were ecstatic, and I'm like, oh,
dude, when they were pogo hopping on
his nutsack,
on Aaron's nutsack, and I was just like laughing.
You were like, I've been there, and I was like, what?
You gave me that Robert Redford, like, just like that.
Yeah. Shay gave him the man, this is a white thing.
I was like, is this what you guys do at Christmas?
No,
like, what is this?
Man, it's a diverse cast. Okay.
No, is it?
There's
diversity.
There's
not one guy that looks like me in that movie.
Are you sure?
Pretty confident. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point of the film is not ever having touched a Jackass or my own. My own. You have them touched your own?
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were jumping on your own. I'm like,
no, touched. We're getting off topic.
We're off the rails on this one. I love it.
Not having been a part of the Jackass world, this movie, I really enjoyed it. And you're absolutely right, Daniel. It was joy. It was fun to see people having fun.
Yeah.
And again, seeing you have fun is what made me really excited about this film. So thank you for letting me come with you to watch it.
Oh, of course. Well,
it was also I had to come.
You had to come.
I had to come.
We had to come.
We had to go.
We had to come. Anthony was also sick that morning.
So I chose not to go because it was a storm.
It was a winter storm.
But then the storm didn't show up, and like,
yeah,
you had Jackass fever.
Jackass fever.
I'm like, I don't care about Daniel's.
I don't care about nuts.
I don't want to see Daniel happy.
I also don't like watching those films because I find it like it's awkward for me to watch. I find it's cringy.
Right.
When there's live things like that, but
I get it. It's definitely not for everyone.
It is definitely not for everybody.
Yeah. And even now in my older age, it's hard.
Sorry. Your older age? You're a young man still, okay?
I am a young man. I'm only 12 years old. But
yes. What?
No, I'm going back and watching like the first Jackass 1 and 2 and 3. Watching it now, you're watching it like in a different way, right? You're like, I'm wincing a lot more than I did as a kid when I was just like, yeah, watching it. Yeah. Yeah, Shay, take us home.
Yeah, I mean, again, the honorable mentions you have mentioned are all on my list as well. Yeah, I think Doctor Strange was really my 10th one.
Yeah.
There's again at least the first 9 that we've mentioned are so solidified in my top 10 right now.
Yep.
That last spot can go to anything in the rest of the year. So and I'm so curious to see at the end of the year how many of these films make it into our top 10 of the whole year.
I'm really curious what we should for our next topic of the show.
Oh.
We should each pick like 3 movies or come with however many. Well, let's look at the rest of the months of the year. Let's look at August to December, and let's go through each movie like we did at the beginning of the year when we went. We're most anticipated.
Yeah.
Let's look at what's coming. Let's look at what's going to excite us.
We'll do that. We'll do that for next week's episode. Anthony, anything else you want to add?
No. Like, what, you want me to mention my honorable mentions?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I had one more film because I didn't go through all.
We
10.
covered them all. Yeah. So it's your last one.
My last film was The Northman.
Oh, The Northman.
And
Yeah,
we-
great film.
Great film. Yeah.
Great film.
Honorable mentions: Uncharted, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, which you talked about,
Yeah.
Lightyear, and Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Yeah.
I also did a Disappointed, but we won't talk about that till the end of the year.
Sure. Yeah.
Unless you want me to. tell you.
You're more than welcome to.
Yeah. Disappointed films of the year.
Disappointed films of the year.
Sure.
Did I just delete my note? Oh no!
Being
Shake,
recently
shake,
deleted.
shake.
Yeah.
It's usually in the recently deleted.
Yeah. I mean,
folder, too.
I'm looking at my my lists, I guess, of my diary entries, and I'm just like, there's a lot.
It's not even on Letterboxd. It's an actual diary that Daniel
Yeah,
has.
there's a lot of movies this year that like just.
I'll just go through my disappointed because real quick. I know we've been here for a really
So
long time.
just to confirm, for your disappointed, these are films that you were excited about that disappointed you,
Yeah.
or are these movies that you just didn't like this year?
These are movies that I just didn't like this year, and I was surprised I didn't like. That I thought they would be better.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Thor: Love and Thunder,
Yep.
Yep.
The Atom Project,
Okay.
Fantastic Beasts.
You didn't like the Adam Project?
Not
I don't remember from our review.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore,
Yeah.
Men, and Jurassic World: Dominion.
Yeah.
That's of now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for myself again when I'm looking at disappointed, these are films that I was going in excited for.
Yeah.
So Jurassic World Dominion would definitely be number one for me still. Thor: Love and Thunder is definitely up there because again there are moments of that movie I like, but overall I'm not thinking of it very too much highly. And yeah, everything else I think Men probably too. Yeah,
I have one more honorable mention.
yeah,
Lost City. I
Lost City was fun.
Fun movie.
Yeah, fun movie.
Yeah, it has moments.
yeah. Even Ambulance like.
Yeah.
Ambulance is such a ridiculous film, but I admire again, like I said earlier, it swung for the fences of just
did.
how ridiculous it is.
I put it under honorable mentions, but then I only gave honorable mentions 5 slots, and I'm like, well, I can't. There's so many other movies, and Ambulance wasn't a disappointment,
No.
yeah,
but it was,
and
it was something. Again, it's something I would watch again.
yeah, and again, I think of disappointments as movies I was looking forward to that disappointed me because even Secrets of Dumbledore, I wasn't looking forward to.
No.
So I didn't even think of it as a
Crimes
disappointed
of
me. Crimes of Dumbledore
Grindelwald?
Secrets.
Whoever the second one was.
Crimes of
What was that
Grindelwald.
was called?
Grindelwald, yeah.
Yeah, that one was already such a disappointment that going in for a third film really wasn't expecting much.
Yeah.
But that was our list, at least. This is also our welcome back episode, almost 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh,
It feels good, though.
It feels good. We
feels
covered
good.
a lot.
It feels good. We had a lot of fun. I think what I love about these main episodes is we just get to be ourselves.
Yeah.
And people get to realize how shitty of people we are.
Oh yeah, it's taken you 2 hours and 20 minutes to figure that out. Well, guess what?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh no!
Don't
Don't leave them on that.
No.
Chick. Don't leave the people on that.
No. We love you guys. And again, we spoke about this in the beginning of the episode where we said, thank you for getting us to this point where we can talk about these movies, where we can do all this. And we've been getting so much support from people, and it's awesome. Like making number 3 on that list, granted, I know it's just an arbitrary list. It meant something. It meant that, people are out there. They want to hear us, and that's awesome.
Yes.
And we're having more guests on our show soon. Lord of the Rings, maybe. Who knows what happens? Who knows? Maybe we'll have the rings on the show.
The rings will be on the show.
rings will be on
the
the
rings of
rings.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just,
You're just clanking.
what's the evil tongue of
oh, evil tongue.
the Black Elvish?
Black Elvish.
Isn't that the writing on the ring?
Is it Black Elvish or just Elvish?
Dark Elvish. I think it's Dark Elvish.
Dark Elvish.
Words
I'll
that
take your word for it.
yeah, I think that's what Gandalf refers to. Okay. We're done.
Yeah.
This show's been going on forever.
As always, you can catch a brand new episode of The Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure you're following us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Join our Discord. Buy our merch. We look great. All of us are rocking it right now too, but you can't see that because this episode is not on YouTube. And you can email us all your hate mail at hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca. That was This Time with The Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next